ask
Okay. Um,
ask Dr. Sajawal to throw light on this first.
so we have welcome everyone. We are here today to discuss a very important topic that is of prime concern to the whole community. Post Exodus, there has been a systematic approach to eradicate our roots and eradicate by way of snapping our connection first with our homes and now with our temples. The land grabbers started by targeting our properties by way of distress sale and forced occupation. Now, once the individual assets were compromised, this mafia has extended its tentacles to our religious places and shrines. Like the unidentified gunman, this mafia remains without a name, though it is there. Everybody knows this mafia is there, but it doesn't have an identity, it doesn't have a name. It's a conglomerate of businessmen, bureaucrats, agents, etc., across all spectrums of the society, and all of them have vested interests. The administration of late has agreed to investigate this unauthorized sale and lease or occupation of our temple endowments. There's been a great and laudable effort on the part of some of our folks who have got the administration to this point where they have agreed to raise an SIT. Now, a hot topic for the last 1 week pertains to Durgana Trust and the Paras Hospital. Now, Paras Hospital is not an isolated case. It got highlighted probably because there's a corporate entity involved, there's a hospital involved, and there was a hospital inauguration. That's why it got a lot of coverage, and we came to know about it. There are multiple such cases which remain unknown, undiscovered, and hidden in pockets. And the masses don't know about these. So today's session, we're scheduling. This has specifically been scheduled to invite thoughts and ideas about our collective approach and next steps for enabling this SIT and supporting them to retrieve our temple properties and endowments, whether these are sold, leased out, or occupied illegally. So with that, I will start. I will start with uh, Dr. Sazawal. I would request Dr. Sazawal to throw some light on this.
Namaskar.
Sazawal.
I'm kind of new in this discussion since I haven't really been in such a discussion with you guys before. But I will start with some of my own boundary conditions, some of my own restraints. I really want to keep the discussion about the matters involving our community with the issues within our community. As much as Sunilji said that the issue has been highlighted by this hospital opening. The problem is that is just what I will call a sort of the malady that has come out in the open, but it's not really the looking at the malady itself. So the discussion really would be much served if we don't talk about politics, don't talk about Hindu-Muslim thing, don't talk about commercialization, but simply talk about the situation that deals with our own community and its failings, and as we can do in that regard. That would be my first point of view. My second is that I have been tracking this issue nearly for the last 20, 25 years, starting with Sheetal Nath, because we started seeing some of the issues that started appearing there. And obviously, one of the things that I learned along the way, was that most of these trustees of these trusts were people were all in Jammu or outside the valley. They really would come once or twice a year, open up the donation boxes, take the donations, and leave. And of course, the donations were not coming from Kashmiri Pandits because there was no one there, but donations were coming from the Indian Army personnel, security forces, paramilitaries that were there. They would stop by, they would contribute, donate. So it was a really lucrative deal for these trusts that had the locks on these boxes. And once we started investigating that, we found out that indeed many of the lands that was appropriated, that was part of the trust, had been sort of leased away to people, and there really was not a discussion even among the trustees. Most trustees, rightly or wrongly, I don't know, said they claimed that they were not even aware of some of those things. That presidents of the trust who had the authority to make those deals had made the deals. And at the same time, as we heard, there was one side of the business. One side of the business was that there was actually a process going on where Kashmiri Pandit trust leaders who had the so-called the hold on the books and the locks, they would dispense away the properties without even their own board knowing about it, and even some of the obviously the public at large knew about it. That's one. The second deals with the situation with the land mafia. The land mafia came into picture obviously because if some of you know that basically Jamaat Islami had established that people in acquiring this land. So that was the second way. Somebody please mute the phone. There's a lot of background noise. So uh, so that was the second process, was basically Jamaat Islami's operatives essentially giving threats or whatever, and basically requiring the people to give up the land without having, with the threats on life and so on. The third one, quite frankly, was the government itself. The government established for the public good. It had a right to acquire some of the land. And I know of many cases where government basically wrote to the families. I remember the Dar family getting a note from Bone and Joint Hospital saying, "We're going to acquire, a few canals of your land, which is next to the Bone and Joint Hospital, because we're going to expand the hospital." And there's nothing they could do about it. They tried their best, but that was supposed to be part of some under the JK Constitution, some requirement that under public good, government could acquire their lands. And so again, that public good was misused in some cases. So we have three different cases of where a land grab has taken place. It's either done by the trust themselves, and that involves Kashmiri Pandits. It has been done by forceful occupation and at throwaway prices that Jamaat Islami imposed on Kashmiri Pandits as part of the land mafia. And then the state government has also done some similar deals and essentially taken over Kashmiri Pandit land for public good, be it making roads, hospitals, bridges, what have you. So in a sense, part of the blame also again lies on our own community, because when 1997 law was passed, quite honestly, two things happened. One, the government didn't really enforce it to the degree that it was required. For example, the district magistrates were supposed to be taking over the assets of Kashmiri Pandit migrants that had left the valley. That didn't happen in all cases. But the second thing is that Kashmiri Pandits found a way through proxy to sell their land and essentially invalidate the law. So that has happened. So where we are today is a government that has sort of reassessed the issue, has again sort of improved on the process of government control and authority over the matters that deal with the properties and community assets of the community that are being questioned in terms of what has happened. And I think now there is a protocol, there's a process in which you can appeal those kind of things. But the biggest challenge, in my view, for our community is, how do we, first of all, make an assessment of who these so-called trusts are, that are pretty much sitting on all the properties that are right now in the valley for the, wherever, where I would say community assets, be it shrines or temples or what have you. How do we get a proper quantification of those trusts, the assets they carry, the assets that are supposed to be under them? Because I think that is the starting point. I think just fingering one trust or the other trust is really not going to solve the problem. Our problem is more generic, and we need to be thinking of ways how we can do that. And of course, one of the things that has been spoken about is if the government basically nationalizes, in a sense, takes over all the community property trusts, that then essentially all those trusts will become, invariably in one by one law they will invalidate all of those trusts. But I'm saying I'm not going to push that particular idea unless others may have other ideas. But the idea is that is our challenge. Our challenge, quite honestly, today is what are these trusts? What kind of lands and acquisition, and properties they are holding on to? Who are their so-called officers that are controlling the keys and the locks and the books on these trusts? And how can we make them more accountable? I'll stop here.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Zaul. So I'll move over to, we have from Jammu, Khosa Saab on the call right now. So I'll just move over next to Khosa Saab for his viewpoint on this topic. Khosa Saab, over to you.
So Neilji,
Hanji.
I think we have to draw some line, because today's Zoom meeting, perhaps, if I understand properly, correctly, is regarding the Durga Nag Trust. I think that was what we were given to understand. The issues regarding the Durga Nag Trust were to be discussed today because of this Paras hospital thing, and there's a lot of controversies, because there are two sets of trustees who are at loggerheads with each other, which has made the trust properties vulnerable. So if we are to discuss that, then I would first and foremost request Satish Mahaldarji to see,
Khosa Saab, I'll just
actually spell
intervene.
out what he wants from us.
I will just intervene for a minute. And Bansa, please hear me out. I would need your attention as well. This call that we set up was specifically meant in terms of the SIT and the post SIT, how we can augment that. So Durga Nag was supposed to be just one of the components. We had not set up the call specifically for Durga Nag. However, we are open if the audience right now wants to move in that direction. If they want to make that as the agenda, the call invite very clearly says the agenda is about the overall SIT, about the temple properties as such. It did not mention Durga Nag specifically. But however, if the audience sitting here, you're all best judges. If we want to debate only Durga Nag, you're free to do that.
Okay, I actually
Bansab, you're on
perhaps
mute.
Part of it, that can be part of it, because
Right.
Durga is an essential part, and it has become so controversial, it can be part of it. We have to discuss in generic
Right.
that what is to be done to save our religious places from the encroachers and from the land grabbers, and how do we restrain the respective trusts who community has lost faith in, and they don't trust them. So what is the best way? Is requesting government to constitute a committee for the time being till we go back to our places? Is that the way out? Or we need to improve within our community, within those trusts, which seems impossible, because they have over the years developed an interest which they don't want to part with. So therefore, we have 2 points to discuss. A, the generic, that SIT has been formed. Government has taken an initiative at the application, on the application of few people, and that SIT is to collect the data in the about the
Answer, please let me in.
yes, yes, and then
Please let me in.
okay.
So, okay, coming back to the SIT, if we
Just
want to
pause
talk
it up
about the SIT,
please.
then see,
A.N. Panditaji wants to get in. Sunil,
Ah,
so let me finish
Please let me
first.
in.
you have
he's
to let him.
already in.
A.N. Panditaji.
He's
Please
already in.
let me in.
It's
And
already there.
next, he should also be given.
So, if we talk
Yes.
about the SIT,
Yes.
again, as far as the SIT is concerned, it seems to be a misnomer. SIT means Special Investigating Team. Am I right, Ashok ji?
Yes, it is, but it is
But
meant to
there,
collect.
there has been no team which has been constituted. There is no SIT as such.
No,
The
they are
divisional commissioner has issued an order to all his deputy commissioners to look into the status of the properties of the minority shrines and temples.
that means
This
they
is
are
what the order
collating
says.
the data. Data. We don't
Yeah.
have.
So
that
there
is
is no SIT as such.
There is no SIT. I am conscious of that. It
Yes.
is only
So if there is no SIT,
yes,
then see, we do not fit in the whole scheme of things. We do not at all,
correct.
because they are not going to ask us. They are going to ask the people who are there in those districts, those
Yes.
who are those temple committees and trusts in various districts of Kashmir.
Correct.
So as far as SIT is concerned, I don't think
Hello.
there is much to be said about it or done about it,
Okay.
especially in view of the fact that we have been giving umpteen requests we have made to the local administration, that is the LG, as well as the central government, to form a committee of some people, some officers, including one or two persons from the community. But
That's right.
that is not being actually considered, because as see, as far as I know, last year when Amit Shah had come here, we happened to meet him. He said, "Koi committee nahi banegi." These were his words. So if they do not intend to form such a committee, so where do we fit in and how can we play a role? This is first and foremost.
Yes.
I don't think I have to say more than this about the SIT. Misnomer. SIT is a misnomer.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Then we move over to Ashok Kolji. We have Ashok Kol from Canada here. So Sanjay, I'll come back to you. I've seen you raise the hand, but let's first hear Ashok Kolji.
Namaskar, Sanye. Yes, we did conclude, in fact, Ashas Uttatham's meeting between Bhushanlal Jalali, who is looking after all the Ranavari temples, collecting data. As Vijayji said, we are collecting data and identifying what are the different. We have 14 temples in Ranavari. And who are the people who are involved? Say, I know in my case, in our case, our family was involved with the Nerdiyar temple, similarly with Misha Sobal temple and Bodh Mandir and all that. So that data is being collected. I think while it is true there is no SIT, but data collection and getting the intelligence in place is equally important. So in every region, I think the way we have done it for Ranavari, similarly, every region should do something similar and start collecting the data at least. You cannot wait for the government to do the things for you every time at every corner. We have to do something ourselves too. So which means, yes, putting some effort in, which means some having rough conversations with people, which also means that we'll have to and test the system. So if they are serious about collecting the data, let's test the system. Is their system working? Then we can go back and say your system is not good enough, or your system means nothing, whatever the outcome may be. In our case, the other day when we had the meeting with Vijayji, myself, and Bushlal Jalali, Bushlal Jalali is heading the Ranawari group there. When we had that meeting, we have decided to do at least to take one case forward where we know encroachment has been there, where we know people are not paying their rents and things like that. So let's start that as a test case, and we will be pursuing that. So similarly, I think all other neighborhoods in Srinagar, particularly all the, I feel that all the 8 barrows stalls should be one of our prime responsibilities, one of our prime priorities. How do we, because a lot of them have been encroached too. So how do we save that, those properties? And so I think onus is, like Vijayji said, onus is on us to identify the individual trust and trustees that were looking after these properties, and they may have some of them may have sold, some of them will not be cooperative. That's for sure. that is going to happen. That's bound to happen. But we have to find a strategy. How do we collect our own data? That's my take on this. Otherwise, we cannot go to the government and say every time we complain.
Bansab, can I also put in some?
I'll just come to you. Give me a minute. First of all, just answering
It's all right.
Ashok ji. One point was that we're not talking only about Srinagar. I think there are a lot of temple properties in villages which are totally hidden, which are probably not even known to most of us.
Absolutely.
And we need to sort of dig out and bring them out. So with that, I'll first move to Bansab. Bansab, you wanted to say something?
No. I want to hear views, different views. I'll come later.
Okay.
Ashokji, I wanted to, Atin here.
Yeah, please.
I just wanted to know what is the status, because you would recall when I was the General Secretary of AIKS with Mr. Kaur, we had presented a bill, temple bill.
Excuse me.
Please let me complete it, sir.
You are identified as Android Blue DR. I don't know the name of the gentleman.
Okay, my name is Hiralal Wangno.
Thank you.
I was the Secretary General with Mr. Kaur for 6 years. We had prepared a temple bill, and we went to Jammu. And you know how it was sabotaged also. My request to Mr. Ashokji is, now Article 370, which has been removed, and then what is the status? Can we have our own view or our own bodies to look after the temples?
Okay, well, I'll respond to it at my turn, please.
Okay.
You go ahead with your intervention.
Okay, thank you.
Any other point you want? Now, Mr. K.N. Pandita is also there.
Yes.
Please, request him.
Pandita sir. I think he has dropped off. So meanwhile, Sanjay Sapru had raised his hand. So Sanjay, you wanted to say something?
Yeah.
Sanjay Sapruji?
Yeah. Namaskar to everyone. I think while this topic is a very important topic, and I think it is very close to heart to everybody. But I feel, first of all, we have to do introspection within our community. When we talk about introspection, so people who have been on these trusts are no mafias, no land grabbers. They are Kashmiri Pandits. What about them? What are they? Why did they do all this? And when they did all this, I think the second point was who were surrounding them. Why have they been silent so long? When the situation is above our head, People have been silent. People have been just observing them, and they have been doing their jobs. People have been covering them. I think while we can tell government should do that, government should do this, I think first of all, our house itself is not in order. And government, if you ask me, government has done more than enough to ensure we can take justice. But if our house is not in order, we cannot take justice. We have the Migrant Act. There was an assessment of temples done by government in 2008 or 2009 in every district. That list is available. We could not even go back to the government and say, boss, you have come up with the list in Kopara of 100 temples. By the way, we have 120 temples. We did not go back to them. We have been always talking about land mafia has taken over temples, but there are people from our community who have been selling that, who have been involved in those transactions. And we have never exposed them. We have never done anything to them. They just happen to be there. They are enjoying their life. And we are just silently, we always, after whatever happens, someday Durganag issue comes up, someday some other temple issue comes up, we just do these Zoom calls and then move on from these Zoom calls. I think the time is there that we have to take a concrete action. And the first thing, we have to set our house in order. Going and forming an SIT, in that SIT, if we have Kashmiri Pandits or no Kashmiri Pandit, it doesn't make anything. It is that time that we have to set our house in order. And I think everybody should talk about how to set our house in order rather than telling government should do that, government, and we'll form SIT. These are totally, what will government do by forming an SIT if our house is not in order? I think that is the point we should be discussing.
I think, Sanjay, we should also add Dharma's role of Dharma's trust.
Yeah, exactly. You fully agree with that. Dharma trust has also genocide, which we claim genocide of our temples has been done by Dharma trust itself.
No, Ram temple at Sathu Barbar Shah, they sold
exactly.
that land and he wanted cash. Dr. Karan Singh asked for cash.
Correct.
And in Jammu, in the Jammu bank.
Correct.
So, okay, Sanjay ji, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
So I only wanted to put something in the perspective that everybody, let's first think of how to set our house in order rather than talking about SITs and other things.
Right.
They can only matter if our house is in order.
I think Sanjay, I fully agree with you, and you've really nailed it. It gives a different dimension to the whole discussion and makes sense to go into that direction. Makes sense to put our own house into order first. With that, I move over to Satish Maldar ji. Satish ji, you're there?
Yes, sir. I'm just listening. Probably I will appreciate that if you could have more views. There are a lot of seniors. Probably my observation, my findings, I will share the facts. So it's very important that we listen to the seniors, the people who are there. And definitely I will share up after a few moments, after 3-4 people, I will share up my views and my observations in the Kashmir, what the findings are.
Okay. So I will then move over to Ashok because I am going by order in which people have joined. So Ashok Manurti ji, would you like to speak? Ashok Manurti ji.
हाँ, मैं 1-2 पॉइंट्स रखूंगा. अभी तक जिसने भी कहा वो बिल्कुल सभी ठीक कह रहे हैं. स्पेशली जो सजाउल साहब ने कहा कि वी हैव टू टेक द होल पर्सपेक्टिव इनटू व्यू. उन्होंने जो 3 सजेशंस बीच में रखी हैं, आई थिंक ऑल द 3 आर वेरी रेलेवेंट. वी शुड थिंक ओवर दैट और उस पर हमें काम भी करना चाहिए, क्योंकि जो जिस प्रकार की 3 टाइप के एबरेशंस मैं कहूँगा इसमें लैंड ग्रैबिंग्स की जो है, we need to address to that. जैसे संजय सप्रू जी ने अभी कहा, it is our problem. Government is not going to address to it unless we don't. जब तक हम ये सारा रिकॉर्ड कंसोलिडेट एक जगह नहीं करेंगे, उसको इवॉल्व नहीं करेंगे, उसको रिकॉर्ड नहीं करेंगे, तब तक सरकार वही गिनी चुनी चीजें करेगी या वर्बली बोलेगी, करेगी कुछ नहीं. ये सारा रिकॉर्ड हमें कलेक्ट करना पड़ेगा. अगर कहीं कलेक्ट है, जैसे लिस्ट है ऑलरेडी, अगर सरकार ने बनाई है, अभी जैसे संजय सप्रू ने कहा, उन्होंने कहा जैसे अनंतनाग में सपोज 50 मंदिर है, वहां 50 नहीं है, 60 है या 100 है। वी हैव नेवर कम आउट विद दैट कि नहीं ये जी 100 है, आपने गलत कहा है। ये हम किस लिए नहीं किया? क्योंकि बिकॉज हमारे पास रिकॉर्ड एग्जैक्ट है नहीं। मैं कुछ बोल रहा हूँ, आप कुछ बोल रहे हैं, थर्ड पर्सन कुछ और बोल रहा है, उससे कोई रिजॉल्व होने वाला है नहीं। हमने अपनी ईगो, अपनी एक दूसरे जो हमारी शर्म आया है उसको साइड में रखना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि ये कम्युनिटी का मैटर है। मैं पजन तुहंदिस लिहाज मज तुह पजन मेनिस लिहाज मज। यहाँ उस लिहाज को हमें घर पे रखना चाहिए अगर हमें इस चीज को रिजॉल्व करना है। अदरवाइज फॉरगेट अबाउट इट, इट विल बी टेकन फॉर नट्स बाय द पीपल, और it will be sold for nuts by the people who are involved in all this. So this whole exercise is going to be a waste unless we don't come together, unless we don't record everything, unless we don't collect all the data. It is going to be a very futile exercise. और उसमें सिट कब बनाएगी या नहीं बनाएगी सरकार, वो एक सेकेंडरी चीज है। सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है कि हमारे पास एक कंसोलिडेटेड डाटा हो। यू सी, धर्मा ट्रस्ट हैज प्लेड ए वेरी रोल, अच्छा या बुरा रोल, कई जगह अच्छा भी है, कई जगह बुरा रोल भी है, और सबके सामने को एक्सप्लेन करने की जरूरत नहीं है। बट धर्मा ट्रस्ट ऑल्सो कैन बी टेकन फॉर अ टास्क वंस वी आर वन एट अ सिंगल प्लेटफॉर्म ऑन होल ऑफ दिस इशू। है क्या धर्मा ट्रस्ट के साथ मेरा अच्छा रिलेशन है, किसी का नहीं है, तो इंडिविजुअली तो हम जो भी बोल रहे हैं, बट इट्स ऑल इंडिविजुअल। इसलिए इस सारी चीज को रिजॉल्व करने के लिए हमें अपनी ईगोज को पीछे रख के सारा कलेक्ट एक टेबल पे आना पड़ेगा, एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे आना पड़ेगा, तभी ये सारा एड्रेस हो सकता है। अदरवाइज ये एड्रेस नहीं हो पाएगा। अदरवाइज हम एक दूसरे का सर ही फोड़ेंगे और कुछ होने वाला है नहीं। अगर 2 मिनट के लिए हम आज के इसमें हम एक 3-4 लोगों का, 5 लोगों का, जिनके पास ऑलरेडी डाटा है इस संबंध में, एक कलेक्टिव, एक ओम्बड्समैन ग्रुप बोलिए, कोऑर्डिनेटिंग ग्रुप बोलिए, जहां ये सारा कलेक्ट हो जाए, उसके बाद चाहे दुर्गाना ट्रस्ट की प्रॉब्लम है या चाहे और कहीं की ट्रस्ट की प्रॉब्लम है, उन सारे इंडिविजुअल्स को बात करके उनको ऑथराइज करें कि ये सारा रिजॉल्व हो। क्योंकि अभी मैं कुछ बोलूंगा, आई एम नॉट ऑथराइज टू स्पीक ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ द कम्युनिटी, और बी पर्सन बोलेगा ही इज नॉट ऑथराइज, तो इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू बी रिजॉल्व लाइक दैट। तो लेट अस डू वन थिंग, 4-5-10 लोगों का एक कमेटी सा बना के उनको हम पब्लिकली ऑथराइज करेंगे कि जैसे सजोल साहब ने कहा कि जो जितने भी ट्रस्ट हैं, चाहे दुर्गानाथ के 4 ट्रस्ट हैं, आपके या शायरी का वहां भी 3-4 ट्रस्ट है, या किसी और मंदिर के 2-3 ट्रस्ट हैं, लेट अस वर्क आउट सम लीगल मॉडल फॉर दैट, और लेट अस अप्रोच द गवर्नमेंट उन सबको नल एंड वाइड करके, चाहे फिर उनको भी उस बॉडी में ले आए, लेकिन तभी अब वो जब सब सारे नल एंड वाइड हो जाएंगे तभी इनको एक जगह कंसोलिडेट कर पाएंगे हम, तभी वो एड्रेस हो पाएगा। अदरवाइज इट्स जस्ट अ वेस्टेज ऑफ टाइम एंड नथिंग एल्स। एंड जैसा होता आ रहा है, वो अभी, अब जब से टेम्पल बिल आई हुई है, कितने साल हो गए, उसके बाद हमने क्या किया? फॉरगेट अबाउट दैट। सेम इज गोइंग टू हैपन विद दिस आल्सो। अब सिट का अगर भारत सरकार ने या जे के सरकार ने अगर कहा है, तो हम क्या कर रहे हैं? मैं अलग से जा रहा हूँ गवर्नर के पास, कोई थर्ड पर्सन अलग से जा रहा है, दैट्स नॉट गोइंग टू रिजॉल्व एनीथिंग। लेट अस कंसोलिडेट ऑल द रिकॉर्ड्स एट वन प्लेस एंड देन सबमिट टू द गवर्नमेंट। दैट इज इट, दैट इज माय सबमिशन। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you, Ashok ji. I
Mr.
think
Sunil,
yes.
there is one Mr. Bangru
Uh,
who has been working on behalf of Archaeological Survey of India and
okay.
also on behalf of Indira Gandhi Institute. He has been deputed J&K and he has collected a lot of data over the years.
Right.
Then Sunil Rajesh Kabi also, they have also worked on that. Maybe we can seek their help. He has worked extensively in this perspective. And regarding Mr. Manbati's,
I would agree with you, Wangmu sir.
yeah, and Mr. Manbati's this thing, we're not talking on the wide, because there have been certain people like Dharma Trust. All properties of temples were in their control, right? So you cannot negate them. That's why I asked Ashokji, what is our status vis-a-vis 370 and Dharma Trust who were controlling the temple.
I am
So
not
these
saying
have to
negating
be.
them. I am saying
No, no,
unless
sir,
we
let us
don't
not get into
consolidate all
bahas,
the
please,
records, we
please.
cannot
I am
discuss
only
with
saying,
anybody.
I am saying that these are legal issues which I have put it to Mr. Ashok Ban. He has to take the cognizance. He has already taken it. He will reply it. Till then, we don't make comments. That's my request to you.
Wangnu sir, actually, Darbar Trust would already have an inventory. What we have to do
Yes,
is we have to take
exactly.
that probably as a starting point
Absolutely.
and then
Abs-
add on multiple small. I mean, it is
Yes,
we
yes,
do have
yes,
data in pockets, so all that
yes,
has to be consolidated, as Ashok Manoti ji has said.
absolutely right. Absolutely right.
And that should ideally be the starting point. I think that is something which is in our control. Rest of the things may not be in our control, but this is one thing which is in our control. And maybe there is a team which has to work dedicatedly, because even data consolidation is a humongous task. It is not an
Yeah.
easy task. It is not a one way
Yes,
or a one week's
Mr.
job.
Bangru and Sunil Raina, they have collected a lot of
Right.
these datas.
Okay.
Maybe they
And
would
put
be
down their
helpful.
names and contact number, Sunil, and then you can
Right.
approach.
Yes, I can pass it on their details.
Yes,
I
if
think
you can pass on their contact details, we can
Then
get in touch
separately,
with them and take
I'll
this
pass it on to Ashokji. I'll
Right.
send it.
Right. Okay.
And is Mr. Kian there?
Sunil, I have a suggestion that if you could be precise with each speaker with a maximum of 1
Absolutely
minute,
right. Absolutely
right,
right.
so that we can go to the second round
Ah.
in terms of any suggestions.
Yeah.
Right.
Rather than repeating again and again the same.
Perfect. I would just move on quickly rather than make it
Mr.
quick. I
Kian
would move on. Yes, Bansab, you were saying something?
Is Mr. Kian Pandita available there?
No, I don't think. I think he dropped off. He has not rejoined yet.
He was calling. I don't know.
No, you can ask him to rejoin.
I will ask you.
So we meanwhile have one important person on this call. We have Murarji call. He would want to probably shed some light on this issue.
Yeah.
Murarji?
Is he there?
He is there, yes. Murarji, you will have to unmute. He has unmuted.
Maybe before
Murarji?
he joins again, I want to put it on record. Those who have done beautiful work all over Kashmir, putting in their efforts, money, they should be appreciated.
Namaskar, Mara, everybody.
Namaskar, Murarji. Over to you.
Are you listening, sir?
Yes.
Yes.
We just wanted your thoughts on this.
Namaskar, Mara. I don't have to say much about all other temples because I don't have the knowledge about other temples. I was only involved in Durganath Trust. And about Durganath Trust, everybody is in the knowledge of things, what's happening and what has been happening since these 8-10 years. Or maybe more than that. But now, whatever I would like to move forward on Durganath Trust, specifically, I don't think my version will be there. I need the other parties also to be brought into the debate so that we can thoroughly discuss. Otherwise, it will be a one-sided affair. Whatever I will speak, it will be a one-sided thing. So let us wait for Durganath for the next time. Let us put it in the next session, wherein the other people involved in the Durganath Trust are also available here. So that will be a better sense.
No, but we would be educated if you give us your perspective also briefly.
And your experience.
Experience हमारा चुन दुर्गानागस मुतलक छु पता सारनी लगभग शुरू पे ये कार पे शुरू गोमु ट्रस्ट कार छु बनोमु everybody knows about it. उसके लिए एक छोटी सी बुकलेट भी मैंने शेयर करी थी सबों के साथ, एक अभी बनाई भी है पीछे.
हाँ.
तो इस वक्त ऐसा है कि वहाँ जो मोस्ट ऑफ द प्रॉपर्टीज जो भी लैंड है वो सारी लीज्ड आउट हुई है पहले से ही, बिफोर आवर माइग्रेशन. तो उसके बाद से कुछ ऐसी सिचुएशन आ गई है कि जब प्राणा ठाकुर जी वहाँ दोबारा से चले गए थे 90s में, तो उन्होंने जितनी भी पुरानी लीजें हैं उनका कोई रिकॉर्ड तो है नहीं कहीं अवेलेबल. उन्होंने नए सिरे से सबों के साथ नई लीज करी थी. वो उसकी ऑथेंटिसिटी क्या है कि उन्होंने कैसे करी लीज, वो ट्रस्ट था नहीं था, नोबडी नोज अबाउट दैट. क्योंकि 2000 में ही उन्होंने लगभग वो लीज करी हुई हैं काफी प्रॉपर्टी जो लीज नई लीजेस हुई हैं.
ओके.
तो उन्होंने ट्रस्ट को रजिस्टर कराया है 2007 में। तो 2007 के बाद उन्होंने कुछ प्रॉपर्टीज ही दोबारा से लीज आउट करी हैं। तो बाकी मोस्टली वहाँ पे जो कोई प्रॉपर्टी बेचता है, या मतलब बेचने वाली क्या बात है इसमें, एक्चुअली लीज राइट्स अपने किसी दूसरे को दे देते हैं। तो उस चीज़ में वो जो एक किस्म की सब लीज ही बन जाती है, क्योंकि उन्होंने लीज में ही ऐसी कंडीशन रखी हुई है हर एक लीजी के कि वो सब लीज कर सकता है विद सम कंट्रीब्यूशन एज अ रॉयल्टी टुवर्ड्स द ट्रस्ट। वो रॉयल्टी जो हमेशा रही है वो ट्रांसपेरेंट नहीं रही है। कभी कोई फॉर्मल एक्चुअल रूल नहीं बना हुआ है कि किस तहत ऑन व्हाट बेसिस कि वो जो ट्रांसफ़र करना है वो किस बेसिस पे करे, कम करे, ज़्यादा करे, किसी को 1000 में, किसी को 10,000 में, किसी को 10 लाख में, किसी को 5 लाख में। नोबडी नोज अबाउट इट। और मोस्टली जो पुराने रिकॉर्ड्स वगैरह हैं, तो जो डोनेशंस वगैरह कलेक्ट की गई हैं उस टाइम पे, तो उनका भी पूरा ऑडिट नहीं हुआ अच्छी तरह से। मैं भी जब से ट्रस्ट में ज्वाइन हुआ, मेरे को भी पूरा काम कभी नहीं करने दिया टाइमली। कभी बाहर करते थे टाइम में, कभी अंदर, कभी एक पार्टी आती थी, कभी दूसरी पार्टी आती थी। रिकॉर्ड किसी एक के पास है, किसी दूसरे के पास है, मेरे पास भी कुछ रिकॉर्ड है, मेरे पास भी कुछ अकाउंट्स हैं, बाकी सबों के पास भी कुछ अकाउंट्स हैं।
तो आप कब से हैं ट्रस्ट में?
एक मिनट और कीजिए, मैं तो यहाँ, अच्छा जी,
आप कब से
मैं
हैं?
2012 से ट्रस्ट में हूँ। आई ज्वाइन ट्रस्ट इन 2012।
ओके।
तो उसके
और
बाद
कब तक रहे?
मैं तो अभी भी ट्रस्टी हूँ। आई एम
Okay,
स्टिल द
very
ट्रस्टी, बट
very good.
I have not been involved in the trust meeting since last 5-6 years. 5 साल से मेरे को उन लोगों ने ट्रस्ट मीटिंग में कहीं नहीं बुलाया है। They had told me कि आप थोड़ा साइड में रहिए। मिस्टर विजय बकाया प्रेसिडेंट बनाए गए थे, तो मैंने कहा ठीक है, मैं साइड में हो जाता हूँ। अगर आपका सोल्यूशन बेटर निकलता है, कोई अच्छा कार्य करते हैं आप, तो मैं ठीक है, आई डोंट हैव एनी ऑब्जेक्शन। तो मैं 3-4 साल बिल्कुल आउट ऑफ टच रहा ट्रस्ट से, लेकिन थोड़ा सा इंफॉर्मेशन मेरे को बैक एंड पे आती रही। अब पिछले 2 साल 1.5 साल से मैं देख रहा हूँ कि बहुत ज़्यादा वर्स्ट सिचुएशन ऐसी हो गई है कि बहुत नुकसान हो रहा है ट्रस्ट का। आज की डेट में भी जितने वहाँ रूम से कुछ, मतलब पीछे से अगर चले जाए हम, पिछला और आज का देखें, तो पिछले एसेट्स से हमारे एसेट्स नीचे आ रहे हैं। बजाय ये 5 साल में और एसेट बढ़ गए होते, कुछ जहाँ से रेवेन्यू कलेक्ट हो रहा था, कुछ चीज़ें हो रही थी, वो नहीं हो रहा है। वो एसेट्स दिन ब दिन गिर रहे हैं। पीछे अभी इस साल के दौरान ही उन्होंने लास्ट ईयर में ही मेरे ख्याल से 7-8 कमरे भी बेच दिए हैं। यही बेचना क्या मतलब है, लीज पे दिए हैं, उनसे डोनेशन ली है। कम से कम 1-1.5 करोड़ रुपए का वो डोनेशन ही आई हैं। दो, उनकी वैल्यू आज की डेट में 3-4 करोड़ के करीब है, वो लेसर वैल्यू पे बिकी हुई है। और फाइनली वो पैसा भी कंज्यूम हो गया, खत्म हो गया है, विच हैज बीन टेकन अवे, लूटेड अवे। उसके ऊपर जो भी ट्रस्ट में इनकम आती है, रेगुलर इनकम थी एज रेंटल इनकम, वो कहीं नहीं है, उसका उनका हिसाब ही नहीं है कहीं। उसके बाद जो रूम्स वगैरह जो यात्री भवन में किराए पे लगते थे, अर्लियर हमारा एक्सपीरियंस ये था कि पहले कोई 18-20 लाख रुपया रूम्स रेंट से आता था और 18-20 लाख रुपया लीज रेंट से आता था, मीन्स अराउंड 40 लाख रुपीज पर ईयर आता था। आज की डेट में पिछले 5 साल के रिकॉर्ड में अगर देखा जाए तो 2 करोड़ रुपया वो भी है, वो भी कहीं नहीं है। आज की डेट में बैंक में बैलेंस है 15 लाख रुपया, दैट्स ऑल। वो भी आहिस्ता आहिस्ता ड्रेन आउट हो रहा है, बिकॉज दे आर पेइंग यूजलेस सैलरी। जहाँ 15 आदमी, 10, 12, 13 आदमी स्टाफ के हैं, वहाँ चाहिए ही नहीं स्टाफ। अगर देखा जाए 2-3 स्वीपर चाहिए, सफाई कर्मचारी चाहिए, दैट्स ऑल, यात्री भवन के लिए। बाकी इतना लंबा चौड़ा रखने की जरूरत ही नहीं है, एक ही आदमी वहाँ काफी कुछ हैंडल कर सकता है। लेकिन ये एक गैंग बनाया गया है, सिर्फ इसलिए बनाया गया अपनी कुर्सियों के लिए, बचाने के लिए, क्योंकि वो गैंग ही शुरू से ऐसा करते थे कि कभी एक ट्रस्टी को चढ़ाना, कभी दूसरे को बिठाना। आज वो मेरे से अच्छा करेंगे, कल दूसरे से व्यवहार अच्छा करेंगे, और आपस में लड़वाने का उनका चक्कर शुरू से चल रहा है, जो ये लोग समझ नहीं पा रहे हैं। आई एम द ओनली वन who has not been succumbing to their pressures. बोलिए सर।
What is according to you is the remedy? Remedy क्या है? Immediate remedy to
Sir, I wanted to put you one
Immediate
question.
remedy तो आप लोगों से ही मिल सकता है. I cannot suggest anything. मैं remedy क्या बताऊं? आप सारे लोग इतने experienced लोग हैं, पढ़े लिखे लोग हैं.
Kaul
तो आप ज़्यादा
sir,
बता
I
सकते
wanted to ask you one question, please. Educate us whether non-Kashmiris and political people are in the trustees earlier also, and do they continue to be there?
Yes, yes. I don't think the political person
Because I have personal
should be in the
experience staying there. My approval of the room was controlled by certain non-Kashmiris and political people.
Yes, yes. You are very right.
Even the allotment of room.
You are very right. You are very
Who is
right.
political person? Is there any specific name?
I think Abdullah's and Farooq, I think they were involved. If I'm correct, you can correct me.
We cannot blame other people. We have to blame our own people.
No,
we
no,
can't say.
तुम्हारा चाहिए सच पन्नी कोकरेल बाधा
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बाकी लोगों के बारे में आप क्या बोलेंगे?
We are
This has
thankful.
become a gossip. This has become a gossip. What are you people discussing? Can you discuss on the topic?
What do
This
you
has
mean by
become a
gossip, sir? Are you
Please,
the
sir.
only? What are you talking, sir? Please, we are serious people discussing a serious problem.
No, it is
And
not
you
a
say the
dis- No, this is a
No,
gossip.
sir.
No, this is a
No,
gossip.
no, no. Please don't use such words, harsh words.
No, no,
You
it's
are
not
in
a
a
harsh
serious
words.
people are here. We are not
Yeah,
wasting
please.
our
Yeah,
time,
yes,
sir.
yes. We respect.
With all
We
respect to you,
all,
my
but
dear friend.
you can
So
start
Deepti,
it. Huh?
please,
You start it discuss.
please have patience to listen. Now, I
Sorry.
have raised certain points. Now he will answer. He's
Kuldeep
collecting
Panditaji
the
will
points.
just come to you. Let's finish off with what Morarji is saying. Once he finishes,
Yeah,
we'll hear you
let
out.
it
We'll
let
come
it be
to you.
1 minute. Let it be 1 minute and then close them. No?
Yeah, it should be
Yes.
precise one.
Morarji, can you
Mara
please continue?
Baswara, there is nothing much to say. Kuldeep ji, if Kuldeep ji has any question, he can ask me.
Okay, Kuldeep ji, over to you. आप बताइए.
मेरी mic ही नहीं चल रही. Are you able to hear me?
हाँ जी हाँ कुलदीप जी बोलिए.
See, money is to be looted. What is wrong in looting the money? Tell me.
Lovely.
And land is to be grabbed. The land which has gone to Durga Nag or to any temple, who is the owner of that land? See, here I have been listening for last. See, I have been all the stalwart. I was amazed when K.N. Pandita has left. He should have not left. He should have been there. He owes to the community. He has given so many lectures and hopes to world about peace and war and genocide. See, all respect to everybody here. I'm Kuldeep. I stay at Madras. I'm watching the situation very carefully. Everybody is saying that community temples for God's sake, be honest to the core. And keep a hand on your head. Is there any community temples?
One on camera, Chuyasan, please. Be
So I
brief
am
and
saying,
precise.
yes.
But when you talk gossip, Chukara.
Complete.
Thank you, sir.
I can be very precise and say, as on 1st November 1990, get an executive order from the government.
If you join, he will give you immediately entry.
Get an executive order and get an executive order from the LG's office, and straight away say that the all land has been taken by the LG under a single notice, and anybody who has occupied that land should file his complaint. Stop it there. One letter, executive order, and get it done. What is wrong in that? Why do you need a law? Get an executive order, 3 lines. All land in the name of Kashmiri Pandits land, and that is in the Khasras also, which stand in the name of Kashmiri Pandits and temples on 1st January 1990, hereby has been taken over by the governor's office. And anybody who has any stake on that land, please file their complaint or their objections within 30 days to this number. Finish.
Okay, Kuldeep ji, that is a suggestion which maybe can be deliberated
Legally,
upon, and
legally
we can see
legally.
how practical is that suggestion and whether this can be taken forward, because all of these would also include legal angles. They would also have other administrative angles. So it's a suggestion well noted.
So suppose Trombus make a mosque tomorrow. Suppose Trombus make mosque tomorrow in Paris. End of it.
Okay. Fine, we get your point, Kuldeepji. So let's deliberate on that.
Move forward, sir.
उमेश जी हमारे साथ ये रविंदर पंडिता जी भी है चुपचाप करके सुन रहे हैं लेट अस लिसन टू
let's hear Ravinder Pandita. That's fine. That's a good suggestion. Pandita ji, can you unmute?
हमारा नमस्कार जय हो बोजाम मरा
जय हो जय हो जय हो
बोजाम मरा अकिस कोंजस मज छुस बच मरा बोजाम मगर मे बसा पोन मंदान मरा
अच्छा
दोदरी मान रहे हुए तो वनियो के
पोन मंदान मरा मे बस क्या फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ये मुद्दु तुल ये अत पे काम कर छदम कर तमिस सपोर्ट कर इंस्टेड ऑफ गिविंग सजेशंस दिवान तो पुन एज संजय सप्रोजी सेड कि पुन घर कर इन ऑर्डर आई जस्ट कोट वन वेरी स्मॉल एग्जांपल ऑफ विताल भैरव रैनावारी यथ मज न भूषण जलाल जी कोर तम साथ पार्टिसिपेट आई एम सॉरी टू से ये अशोक कोल जी वन वारिया बहुत तमिक मेंबर रैनावारी एक्शन कमेटी एंड ही इज वेरी क्लोज टू मी मगर हाउस कित पे कर ऑर्डर सह कि धर्मा ट्रस्टन कन पूर्ण विताल भैरव मरा ऑन पावर ऑफ अटॉर्नी टू वन अब्दुल रशीद दुरानी इन 2012 which he is not authorized. The trust is only there to manage and run the temples, not to sell. Tuhund छु बोड मंदर तच रन वारि तथ पे लुदुर बोर्ड ना लगित बड़ सर्कुलर बड़ नफीस तथ कर पेंट ना वन जलाली साहब तो जलाली साहब करण सिंह त्रावान तथ कोन त बावान शिवलिंगस युस जन वुनुक तान थोक रन वारि थानस मज सोनुक न थान पे तुलित यम कथ ये स्टूडियोस मज सपदान ये मरा कर ग्राउंडस पे अवर कुरुक्षेत्र शुड बी बैटल ग्राउंड शुड बी कश्मीर 1500 मंदिर अगर 15 बट तनस यम जन तिमन मंदिरन कर मैनेज मोन बोड़ बोया वनान अक दोन मे सजेशन दिवान बड़ तूफान कम सा खतर कर रेनोवेट क्या तान बदपुर हुशर विताल भैरव कोतान वनपुर फलान टेम्पल वह शारदा टेम्पल खैर यह कम खतर कर पज जीवजन पे थवन खंडरात ताकि आने वाली नस्लों को पता चले हमारे साथ क्या 1990 में हुआ यह स्कूल ऑफ थॉट और कर ये ब्रेक यम खंडर थवन योतान तत विताल भैरवस तो छोक 1.5 कनाल हर कुन मंदिरस छोक सरकारन खे धर्मा ट्रस्टन कुन वतलार मरा 103 कनाल जमीन यह APMC तम सात ना नफर लेट मी कम अगेन बैक टू विताल भैरव यम सात मरा 2012 मज बूस मे तुल मरा रवीर गो अनिल दार तो राजन नख सन्न वज गाड़ मज तो कर एक्शन सनी बरादर आय मे निशन कह नसा अत कर अत ब्लू प्रिंट बनाव पे इत कर गो दे वांटेड टू एंगेज अस इन डिस्कशंस मैंने कहा नहीं भैया उधर जाना पड़ेगा धरना दे दो यहाँ करण सिंह को घेराव करो हाउ कैन धर्मा ट्रस्ट ठाकुर दिवाकर सिंह एग्जीक्यूटिव पावर ऑफ अटॉर्नी इन फेवर ऑफ अब्दुल रशीद दुरानी चार आदमी हमने अपने अपने खर्चे पे गए ये भी बताऊं चारों लोग रवि रिगू ने कम से कम 6000 रुपए के सिगरेट पिए अपने खर्चे से और वहां गए और हमको जनाब नहीं मजाक में बोलना पड़ता है जी लेट मी बी वेरी क्लियर और वहां पे जब हम गए आप यकीन नहीं करेंगे हम जी चेयर में बैठने की कोशिश करी और जी चेयर वाले ने हमसे पैसे लिए कि विताल भैरव छुट्टे कराने में होता है किराए मरा जी चेयर दैट रिसीट इज विथ मी इन माय फाइल can I forget those things and we are talking of a SIT and a large scale district atek dagan paga satish maldar se godya ye chubit but inas 50 organization chukuso go gamuk to shahruk ladai gachi it's a very sensitive issue sir विताल भैरव एक एग्जाम्पल है, उसको फिर दोहराता हूं। हम 4 लोग गए, 1,37,000 रुपया उस पर रेनोवेशन पे लगाया। पता चला अब्दुल अजीज ओखन MLC ने वहां पे 1.5 कनाल खाया इन्हें रोड टू नजीर खान एंड वन मोर फेलो, 2 हाउसेज के लिए एक रोड काटी जी सरकार ने। मैंने कहा भैया चुप रहो, जितनी पहले जमीन है उसको पहले रिकैप्चर करें, रिक्लेम करें, पत तुलो तनाज तम डोड कन। अगर तुम गोडे तुलो तनाज तेल रोज तनाजस मज यह गि रिक्लेम तह। वह मरा मान यमो 4 नफरों मान कत अशमरा कोर अशमरा करना यह पावर ऑफ अटॉर्नी करना मे रिवोक, क्या जंतर मंतरस पे दित मे धरन पान 2012 मज 3 लट। तथ मज आव मोन बोड़ बोय बुत पल ना सा चे कोर फ्राइडे दो धरन बह कर वो संडे दो। मे दोपस है मरा डेली करो धरन, लेट देयर बी डेली धरना। तुम मा गई ज्यादा प्रेशर, खबर तुम मा बाशो मान धरना गो कह खेव मा मे कह। यह वीकनेस पन्नी जाए कि आई शुड गेट नोटिस्ड। वाई सतीश मालदार मोड दिस SIT तो क्या यह गोस बह कर। मे वस टेम्पल बिल बनावान 2 वरियन तथ अख पैरा चाना सह रोद पैरान मज। यह कोर नसी अंडरस्टैंड कि BJP इज अपोजिंग दैट, Dharma Trust is opposing that. I have 17 signatures of Jammu organizations, Babajis and
Yes.
Hindu organizations who opposed us that time. Satovu MLA MLC signature H Vinod Panditan karit yem sat assembly was bazib time satan Satovu signature cha that is with us. Ak learn as tal council is no as kara support, it should be tabled in the assembly. Satovu sign karin chnu momuli ka atmosari Satovu Musalman बट या दूग्राव कहन ब्रोट बे गई अतनसन जम्मू वर्सेस कश्मीर। धर्मा ट्रस्ट नफर आव मे धमकी दिन सुरेंद्र सोनूर कशीर दपा मे पंडिताजी वो कौन सा मंदिर है जो जिसमें दिया ना चले। गो तेल कुन ही मेंट कि मैं कुन बाबड़ी अम्ब सुगोस कन्ना धर्मा ट्रस्ट अच्छा दिया जला। वो कौन सा मंदिर है जिसमें दिया ना चले। बिल्कुल Kunan can you switch to negotiate and Kara? Gulamad Wani. He is ex-junior, he is my class fellow. Gulamad Wani calls me. Dupne Nakar Mungali Bari Bavadi, Mitum said, so you peer ye Karato, peer family show. So I Dupne Nasa Skachamo. I do to Kata wool like to start canal. The Sahamon. These are live examples. Gulamad Wani is in there. अब पॉइंट ये है विताल भैरव अगर हमने किया, इसी बकाया साहब ने चिट्ठी लिखी, इसने हमको 10 लाख रुपए का हेल्प किया इन दी बाउंड्री वॉल। अशमरा जूत ये आई बे कोस्ता कमिटी मज वर्कित ती गत SIT वनकस। दैट्स व्हाई आई एम गिविंग यू एग्जांपल। पोन मंदा आई मरा उत्पल जी तो बाकी एंड कंपनी मरूम लंगर सब मोट फलन रन वारिक सारी ए नसा तो कुछ गई वो तो बनूम कुछ रहना वाली एक्शन फार्म यह कुछ गो रवि गो नख क्या था तुम से कम कुन तरीके करें। नसा विताल भैरव 1959 अच्छी अकाउंटस मज 17 रुपये। वी आर होल्डिंग एन अकाउंट। दिस इज व्हाट हैपेंड 3 years बैक नवविद्या टेम्पल रात पे हावन नवविद्या टेम्पल सह बनम डस्टबिन देवी स्कूल नबर कन मे करनो मोहित बान सा ठीक अत लागनो बोर्ड तह डिप्टी मेयर म्यूनसिपलिटी वाले जार पार कोर्मुत तम सात मे मरा करनो डस्टबिन क्लियर। आई हैव द वीडियोस एंड द रिकॉर्डिंग्स ऑफ दैट फोटोग्राफ्स। वह बनो तथ गई क्या मैनेजमेंट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। बस वनकस परेशान अ बनो शारदा टेम्पल मैनेज कुछ कर कुछ चलाए कम गसन खतर तैयार एक्सकर्शन खतर सारी गसन खतर तैयार शोर मचाने खतर मे हसा थोक तत लैंड हसा खोक ये वो मंदिर ये मे पन 2 गुरु आश्रम 2 Guru ashrams. Morarji Cole should notice this. Take note of this. Heavy note. Badipura ashram we renovated. Khushru we renovated since 2006. 1 करोड़ रुपया लगाया हमने। सब बटों का ही पैसा है। ठीक है। उसमें क्या हुआ फिर खुशरू में? वहां गुलाम मोहम्मद केयर टेकर चाबी उसके पास है। मिश पे वहां गया तेल गुलाम मोहम्मद घर गु नेक्स्ट मोहलस मदर पक्ष लालटीन है शाम वक्त पक्ष में पूंज खोला। Similarly, we have Abdul Aziz in Badipura. वो नहीं गेट खोलता है, आप जाइए ना उधर नहीं खोलेगा गेट। तो जो ऐसा तमाम चाहिए वो मुद्गार है, जो बड़े विचार है, शीत वो। So we have caretakers, Muslim caretakers. दपान मामले टेम्पल सह कर ठिन 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 सह खेवान पंजाबन तत पोस टूरिस्टन तोत बेटर पन्ने जंग can we manage there are only just 2 people right now let me finish my talk sir here there are a lot of people to speak we have only 2 people right now जिनको चेला चेलियां मोट देने वाले तमोक भरने वाले नहीं चाहिए वो बेचारे डेडिकेटेड हैं 2 आदमी उनको हम 2 मंदिर दे सकते हैं खाली एक मिस्टर मोहन कृष्ण मोंगा है एक बबलू जी है सोमिया टेम्पल में आपको मिलेंगे 24/7 इनके साथ कोई चेला चेली नहीं है ये खुद बता भी रनते हैं चाय भी बनाते हैं आपको भी पिलाएंगे मंदिर भी चला रहे so Monga ji is running 2 temples this time Vankura and Titwal both similarly our Bablu ji is running Shalput ji के brother वो रन कर तीसरा कोई नहीं दिखता है राजेंद्र पंडित सिर्फ यहाँ पे बातें करता है डिस्कशन करता है अमित शाह के साथ बड़ी फोट में खेलता है दिखाता है और राजेंद्र पंडित बार बार दे रहा है परसों भी एलजी को फॉर्म में 3 member कमेटी मेरे पास आई हैव अ डॉक्यूमेंट विथ मी आई हैव रिटन टू गवर्नमेंट गवर्नर एंड ही हैज एग्रीड टू माय सजेशंस यस I have told him post an additional secretary also here in Kashmir House to look after migrant problems. Yes, he said. When you 3 member come बनाओ यम क्या सिर्फ जीपन मज तक नचुन तो बे बाय एयर इस पर सान ऑर्गेनाइजेशन प्रेसिडेंट नचा मीटिंग करान सिर्फ अच्छा कश्मीर गो दिस इज द बर्निंग इशू दिस इज आवर हिस्ट्री एंड कल्चर हमारा और क्या रह गया इस टाइम व्हाट इज आवर स्टेक इन कश्मीर एक्सेप्टिंग टेम्पल्स एंड श्राइन्स नथिंग इफ सतीश मालदार हैज टेकन अ स्टेप तमिस में पर्सनल कचनी बट आई अप्रिशिएट हिम फॉर दिस एंड आई शुड सपोर्ट हिम एवरीवेयर एट एवरी प्लेटफॉर्म कि इस बंदे को करने दो हम बीच में हर एक बंदा अब आएगा इसको उंगल करने जैसे विताल भैरव कमेटी आ गई तब से एक ईंट नहीं लगी जनाब ऐसा ड्रामा मेरे साथ हुआ यहाँ उत्पल जी भी बैठे होंगे वो भी सुन रहे होंगे ऐसा ड्रामा हुआ मेरे साथ अभी 4 दीवारों में 2 ही दीवारें बनी थी फ्रंट दीवार पे गेट भी लगा विजय बकाया के सीडीएफ फंड से वो भी हमारा नहीं है विताल भैरव कमेटी का सीडीएफ फंड में से और वो ठेकेदार जब 2 दीवारें बना गया फ्रंट दीवार लगोन बे लगोन साइड जुचवन यलाई अत फ्रंट दीवार चुस गेट अत मरा दुत राजेश लांगरन तो बे तम मोटे कुलुप द्रायम कौन टू शो राजेंद्र पंडिता को नीचा चुकोस शो विताल भैरव कमेटी पत मरा बने 4 दीवारी 3 लट गोस बह तन पे 3 लट मिटो तथ में बोर्ड सह गो इंडिया गो बैक 3 लट कर तथ में पेंट पान पत गो कमर रुक लाजन तथ पे शेर बे दीवार नथिंग फर्दर हैज हैपेंड महबूबा मुफ्ती सीएम मे कोर जार पार तम सात मरा उत्पल जी बाकिन अमे होत नो मट आई हैव मेट हर ट्वाइस अम क्या होत मट धर्मशाला दिमो बनवित सह दी मे डीपीआर बनवित करो धर्मशाला ये खानियार तान विजिटर छोल विजिटर शीर तान गेस्ट हाउस बनमुत अत बेहन विताल भैरवस मज कह अर्निंग या तोत रोज रख रखाव तमे होत मट बह दपान कथु लेटर हेडस पे बनावो डीपीआर यम तुम लड़ाई लगोम विताल भैरव कमेटी चुकोस गोम ब्या रैनावरी एक्शन फॉर्म इस पर रैनावरी एक्शन कमेटी बनम जलैल सबन तमिस तवन पगह चीज चुकोस सोगोक रनवा टेम्पल मालिक विताल भैरव सोन सह चंदस सो व्हाट हैपेंड कि मे मारा जुतुक न लेटर हेड तहन ये डीपीआर बनाव विद द रिजल्ट महबूबा मुफ्ती मोकले हिस्ट्री गई क्रिएट विताल भैरव तथ मारा तूत जंगल आज बनोमुत तथ आव सोज वो तरुण विजय MP यह बनावो नेशनल मॉन्यूमेंट ऑफ इंडिया साइट अच्छा ये नेशनल मॉन्यूमेंट मंदिर यह बनावो नेशनल मॉन्यूमेंट या अपार वन मुसलमान बनावो यूनेस्को साइट शारदा पीठ इज यूनेस्को साइट फॉर दोज अंग्रेज एंड दोज ब्रिटिशर्स इट्स आवर रूट हमारा खून है शारदा पीठ हम जान देंगे शारदा पीठ के लिए तो हमें काम करना चाहिए मुख्तसरन हमें सतीश महलदार को हेल्प करें उसके पास अगर लिस्ट है मेरे पास भी कोई लिस्ट है 796 मंदिर की मैं भी पेश करूंगा जिसको कल ही जब भी वो मीटिंग बुलाएगा and let him lead the story and let him lead the march we are behind him thank you so much
thank you Mara thank you so Sanjay Sapru you wanted to say something Sanjay ji
हाँ जी, I wanted to remind Ravinder Panta. Actually, I go with Ravinder Panta ji. I think he forgot one of the thing. 3 years back or 4 years back, there was a temple in Renavari near Jujilankar. Pyomara yaad Ravinder Panta ji. Mohit started to clean that activity. When he started to clean that activity, what the way Renavari committee reacted to that, they did not even allow him to clean.
नहीं sir, it is in Navidiyar, it is near Devi School, बड़ा वाला Devi School, उसमें भी कमेटी आ गई जी, उसमें भी कमेटी आ गई मुझे सामने, and they said we'll now do it. मुझे तो दोनों में
रविंद्र जी मुझे उसने 1000 रुपये
हाँ ठीक सर, बिल्कुल सर,
सर
उसमें फ्लेक्स बोर्ड भी लगाया, and I remember it was
that temple was become a shit pot, and Mohit went and tried to clean that, and again committee.
I know. I've been there 2007, 2010.
Sir, 7 की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, मैं तो 2017-18 की बात कर रहा हूँ सर.
Yeah. I understand that it has been turned into shit house. But I'm saying कि ये कौन कमेटी आई आपके सामने ये बोलने के लिए कि कुछ नहीं करो यहाँ पे? किसने कहा?
वही की कमेटी.
कौन सी कमेटी? है कुछ कमेटी. My eldest brother is the president of that committee. My cousin is the secretary of Congress.
Sir, मेरे पास नाम है उनका. I am in conversation with Mr. Ashok जी, क्या नाम है उनका पूरा, मैं भी निकालता हूँ इसमें से मोबाइल में से. I'll just come back to you. मेरी बड़ी conversation हुई है उनके साथ, बहुत chat, and he has been appreciating me sir, but he said हमारी कमेटी है, मैं बात करूंगा. एक हमारा ब्रदर बॉम्बे में, एक कहाँ है, मैं कहा यार इसको करो. अब अगर साफ करके हमने आपको दिया, चूना शूना डाल के दिया, फ्लेक्स का बोर्ड भी लगाया, वो शेख इमरान था तब डिप्टी काउंसलर, उसको भी मैंने फोन करके वो करवाया था. तो फिर बोर्ड के बाद कमेटी तो सामने आएगी ना, उसका दीवार बनाओ या उसको ताला लगाओ या दरवाजा लगा के करो सिर्फ या इस पर शैम रात पे तो गई वीडियो क्या तक गोमुत गई की डस्टबिन तैयार वन दिन जवाब मिल रहेंद्र पंता why you are not concentrating on this पक छकान सो वॉइस रिकॉर्डिंग में हे पाकिस्तान मंदर छाड़ने ये मंदर छस न पाई. अरे भैया रहेंद्र पंडिता थोड़ी करेगा ये 1 by 1 यार 1500 टाइम. और जब कमेटियां सामने आएंगी टांग खींचने के लिए, इससे अच्छी कमेटी अच्छी पता मैंने दिया नहीं करके आपको मैं कॉल कर रहा हूँ. Just 10 seconds. Vital Barrow में
don't get personal
during the revocation of power of attorney. Sir Ashok ji please sir 10 seconds only.
During हमारा बहुत में गोलगंडे अच्छे प्रणाम
सर अशोक जी प्लीज सर आप मेरा सुनिए सर. आपके भाई हैं कमेटी के मेंबर, मैं झूठ बोल रहा हूँ, मैं अभी उनसे आपको फोन करवाऊंगा सर. जस्ट 10 seconds सर. सी व्हाट हैपेंड यम साथ रेवोकेशन ऑफ पावर ऑफ अटॉर्नी करना मैं धर्मा ट्रस्ट करण सिंह पूरा घेरा पेरा ये मरा कर ठाकुर दिवाकर सिंगन एक्सेल शेयरस में पोडुन बोर्ड एड सुमारा चुनिशन मौजूद फाइल मगर सुपर इंटरेस्टिंग तात मज मारा छु स्वाद कनाल जवाला जी युक्त सुकरा रिवो गौतम छु जवाला जी छु कुनमुत में पता तो था सिर्फ छु कुनमुत बेताल बैरो तो इस लड़ा बेताल बैरो आ कुनु सुति वोन मुसलमान ने ए चाइए पुलिस के तो नजीर खान फाइनेंशियल कंट्रोलर तेनी वो नाटक बानी ने कह तात मरा जवाला जी सवा कनाल लैंड वाज revoked sir.
Pardha sir,
I don't think we can solve these problems here all year. I don't think it's the place to solve these problems. I think we have to.
I think that brings up another aspect. We, besides making an inventory of the temples, we also need to make an inventory of the committees. We don't know कौन सी committee कहाँ है, कितनी committee है. So I think that is another for data collection that is also important.
Sumit, I think you have raised a valid point by saying we have to make the inventory of the committees. At the same time, every committee has a life. No committee is a perpetual. Perpetually they don't exist. I think we also need to make sure that ensure that and tell them that they don't exist for lifelong. If there is a perpetuality, one team has to go, second team has to take over. And that is where I think biggest problem is everybody is holding on to their chairs for 30 years, and then during that 30 years of period, these all mess has started to happen.
Right. Thank you, Sanjay. So let's move over to Satish Maldarji.
Sriniji, one more point. I just wanted the properties on the lands.
Yeah.
Like it has started cutting the trees and selling the trees. So that should be included. Ashok ji ko bhi hai, wherever would deal with it.
Okay, Satish Maldarji.
Thank you very much. Very good evening to everybody, seniors and friends. I will just share my views and findings. And I expect the suggestions from the learned council present here. The first of all, I just want to share with you that, like most of the people who have spoken about, whether it was Sanjay ji, whether it's Ravindra Pandita ji, they were absolutely, I know them. I will give a small example. In fact, I don't want to quote the name, but still I'm posed to upon. Durgana, the most of the people are rallying for 58 canals of the land. But with me, the documents are for 71 canals of the land. With the khasra number, with the revenue records. So here, the point needs to, it's not only about it. I will give you another example. In Lal Chowk and outside the Gurdwara, there's a temple, but officially with the government and with any KPO organization, they don't have the record of the khasra number of that temple. The third example I'm quoting about, Jawaharnagar Temple. Jawaharnagar Temple has a 5 canals of the land on which the temple is there. But beyond that, there are more 2 canals of the land, which is again the part of the temple, which is lying idle, and it has been encroached by the KP itself. There's the 2 canals of the land in the Rajbagh. The third part is the like in Kupwara, Telvanpura, there is a cremation ground which has been encroached by the government itself, and they made the road on it. Similarly, in Kulgam, Ganesh temple, there is a bus stand within the premises of the Ganesh, in the main chowk itself. The bus stand has been created by the government itself. So, like that, there are many examples in which the government itself has encroached the property of the temples. One, without any notification, without any orders. Second, I want to draw the attention, the people who are concerned about our the heritage, our the culture, even they are concerned, but the data is not available to them. The facts are something different, and what government is talking about, it's altogether different. It's in contrast. If government is talking about 10, in practical position, it's 20. So I'm just giving my observation, what is the findings. Similarly, a small example, in Chatabal, there used to be a temple, there used to be a cremation ground, there used to be a property on the Kashmir Pandits, but unofficially and officially, that has been taken over by the Dharma Trust. It's in the records of the Dharma Trust. Even though the committee in Jammu or Delhi or rest of the world, they claim that it's our temple, but that has been officially taken over by, as per the revenue records, that has been taken by the Dharma Trust. As Ravindra Pandita ji was talking about, the people claim to be the Ranavari temple, but it is claimed by the Dharma Trust. Now, when we look into the Kashmir, as specifically in the Srinagar city is concerned, not the rest of the entire Kashmir, the Srinagar city, there are 3 major things which most of the speakers have forgotten. It's Dharma Trust, Kashmiri Pandits, and Sanatan Dharma. The Sanatan Dharma has been the notorious of all. The most of the prime properties has been sold by the Sanatan Dharma. Let it be Magarmal Bagh school or a temple. Let it be the 22 canals of temple land in Magarmal Bagh. Let it be about 6 canals of the property in Solina that has been sold by the Sanatan Dharma. Let it be the Lal Chowk property, again that has been sold by the Sanatan Dharma. So kindly keep in mind, it's not only the Dharma Trust, Sanatan Dharma is equally involved into the sale of the Kashmiri Pandit property.
Who is heading the Sanatan Dharma? Who heads the Sanatan Dharma, sir?
Sabha, correct.
As a Sabha, yes.
Yes, Sanatan Dharma Sabha, correct.
Who is heading it?
It was with
I'm just
Batra,
coming. I'm
all
just coming to that.
Punjabis of Kashmir.
Right, I'm coming to that, sir. So when we look at the Kashmir, the most even I will give the idea in South Kashmir, one Kashmiri Pandit just for the sake of that he wants to be chairman, he made all entire executive committee the Muslims, and just he wants to be the chairman, and the rest of the people are the Muslims. So there are a lot of irregularities in terms of when we talk about happening on. Now getting into the rule of law and the findings on the as per the documentation is concerned. As per the when we investigated it from 2019 2021. Every day knocking the doors of the each department. I'm just sharing one by one. The Registrar of Societies right from 1986 till 2023. They confirm no temple trust is registered except 6. Again, those are defunct. Number 1. Number 2, there has been the claim by the Kashmiri Pandits that temple trusts are registered, even though in the previous regime by sub-registrar or by the notary. Even we checked up their records through their affidavits, what they claim. One to one, it took up a longer time. Still, there are a lot of things which are pending with the Registrar General of the High Court. The most of the temples, there is none of the temple registered by the officially. I'm talking about. I'm talking the officially, mainly because prior to 2019, the things were different. In 2019, afterwards, things are different. I'm talking the prior to 2019. As per the code, no temple trust is or NGO is as a temple I'm talking about specifically is registered with the J&K High Court, specifically Kashmir Division. Third, we investigated with now there was a further we investigated with the Tahsil to Tahsil, Patwari to Patwari, because again we don't want to lose a hook that maybe they have a vague records or something like that. Again, from each Tahsildar, district-wise, all 10 districts together, we got the report. That's not more than 8 to 10 temple sanstha's, even though they are not registered, but yes, they exist in entire 10 districts of Kashmir Valley. Look into the police report. Again, the same story. Look into the CID record, what we have fetched upon and digged upon. None of the Kashmir temple trust is registered legal body in Kashmir. That is a written report from the J&K government, the respective departments, right from Tahsildar to Patwari to police to your high court, session courts, your registrar of societies, that's in the record. There's a third point. Fourth point is absolutely what my all seniors, my friends has spoken about it, that we need to put the house in order, because in the most of the violations, the things has happened within the house. Whether it was a good, bad, worst, I don't know, but things has happened within the house. Maybe the people have their different justification that it's good. Some will say that it's bad. But whatever irregularity has happened, that has happened from the house. But let me tell you more onto it. Unofficially, I'm talking the word. Document we are awaiting. Document we are awaiting, we should receive any time the document, maybe in 24 hours, in 48 hours or 36 hours. All leases within the Kashmir Valley, whosoever has done, any trust has done, are illegal. As per the court of law, as per the J&K administration is concerned, as per the revenue department is concerned, they're all illegal. Now, what is the remedy? That is, I request you all learn people, that will learn counsel, to look into the what's the remedy. At the same time, I just want to share with you, 1,272 temples list has been forwarded to the government to with the entire khasra numbers, land measuring details. I can be wrong. Whatever I have a detail, it could be wrong. I am sure 100% it could be wrong. But whatever I could had it, I shared with the government. Please come up with the facts. What exactly has happened and where it is. The government past 3 months has not come up with the details. They have not shared the facts. Because the ecosystem is so strong. Even though despite the Amit Shah wants to do something, the Manoj Sinha wants to do something, few selective bureaucrats want to do something for the community, but the ecosystem is strong, so strong. Past 3 months, we are not getting any information of what exactly is happening. Last but least, to conclude, the budget has been allocated. We have proposed a budget of 2,000 crores to identify and restore the temples, because which were demolished, destroyed, which needs to be renovated, and with keeping in consideration the security arrangement. But out of the entire that, the 20 shrines has been taken up. The budget has been allocated to them, 68 crore rupees. The 20 shrines are getting getting rebuilt, renovated by the J&K government, by the central fund. Thank you very much. Any questions, please, we will take it up.
I see, Sunilji, I see that now we have basically 4 sources of information about this temple. One is Satish just now mentioned he has a large list, and then we have Dharmat list. Then we have a list that was referenced by Sanjay Sapru. He mentioned somewhere that was collected earlier. And finally, those mentioned made of Mr. Bangru having a list. I think there's a need to have consolidation of those lists. And we need to have an understanding of what is the size of this problem.
Okay. So frankly speaking, until unless we make this list, we even are not sure about the magnitude of the issue that we're dealing with. So I think as I mentioned, data collection is essential so that we at least know the magnitude of the issue. With that, before I move over to Ashok Manji, I would just want to know if anybody else wants to put in their thoughts.
Sunil, in this also I have a suggestion. See, so what I mean to see being as even though I volunteers, Sunil volunteers, or Raval Saab volunteers, or anybody volunteers, the question here it is that it has to be done. The mapping has to be done to be district to district, and the people who are from the respective districts, they need to come forward so that the mapping is done. See, volunteering is okay, fine. Satish is volunteer. I am born and brought up in Srinagar. Had been living up in Baramulla. I had been living up in Kupwara. But that doesn't amount to me that I have a complete mapping and information of all the 1,500 temples. So here we need the volunteers, district to district, tahsil to tahsil, so that the mapping is done exactly where the temples are. 1, 2, we also need the people who have a prayer information. How much tentative? It could be vague. It could be incorrect. I agree. There could be incorrect. I don't say somebody will say this kanal, pancha kanal, maybe. But at least he could identify. Okay, fine. The temple is here. So we need the volunteers, tahsil to tahsil, district to district, who could map up the property. Is my suggestion.
Plus it needs to be a structured exercise. There has to be some structure around it. It can't be an inorganic exercise that will go haywire. So it has to be structured.
Put it on the net, Put it on the net, and then everybody will do it.
Right. So Sanjay, you had some thoughts. You had some idea. You had raised your hand. Sanjay Sapru.
Yeah, so I had one thought here. What Satish rightly said, it cannot be done single-handedly by one person. And it is not, and I think it is a responsibility of everyone. Yes, definitely there are 3-4 sources of data based on which we can create something. But at the same time, there has to be a team which we need to create. For example, there can be a couple of people from, let's say, Kapwara, couple of people from, let's say, Handwara district, similarly Baramul, who have to own this responsibility of actually providing the information. And then it has to be a twofold activity. The team which is on the ground can give us information. There has to be some central team which will collate the data, and based on that, the concrete final blueprint of the data can come out. That these are the set of temples which figure today. These are the set of temples which actually are missing in record, and this missing data we can probe or push government to give us some information about that, and that is how we can work concretely and focused.
Mr. Vatal, there are two more. One is Sunil Raina. He has been doing around the Kashmir, and there is third is first I board about Bangru, now Sunil Raina. Third is AIK has also collected over the years.
Okay.
There's a data there already. Something maybe possibly the present president can present you those data. That may be helpful also.
Right. So we'll take all these leads from you and probably connect with these guys. If you can share their contact details, that would be really helpful. So then we can try to consolidate this. So before I move to Ashok Banji, is there anybody else who wants to make a point, who wants to speak?
I wanted to ask Satishji, has he identified people in different areas who he has contacted to collect the data or to begin collecting the data?
Satishji, that's a question for you.
Well, I just want to say that, the most of the data, frankly speaking, that has been shared of the voluntary. Second is by the Muslims. Third, recently, Sanjay Kapru has given me the data, which I just try to cross-examine. Whatever I have at the data, I need to check it. Even though the data was correct, but unfortunately, the khasra numbers and the land measuring details has been fudged by the state government, and it's a challenge. Whatever the data claimed by the government and what they have put it up in the revenue records, it's fudged, it's incorrect, it's wrong. That has to be challenged. My humble request here it is that, like especially for the Renavari I'm talking about, like in Chaudhry Bagh, nobody knows the Chaudhry Bagh. Even the Jalali Saab had asked me. He was very much concerned about shivling. But khasra numbers, land measuring details, what exactly it is, what government claims, I shared with him. That's so that he could take it to the logical conclusion. Whatever support I could provide to him, I gave him. Or similarly, in Gandarbal, I'm coming to that. Similarly, in the case of the Gandarbal, Lar, we have the temple by the name of Rapa Bhavani. The 250 canals of the land has been sold by the Pujari. The Kashmiri Pandit Pujaris has sold 250 canals of the land, which was associated with the Rapa Bhavani temple, Lar, Gandarbal. So there are a lot of stories like that, but the government has not mentioned in their reports. Government has ignored. In fact, they are showing only 11 canals of land with the Rapobani. But whereas if we see Dutch, technically, Dutch, their revenue records, which the original document I am having, it's 250 canals of the land, 250 and something, land with the Rapobani Bhagwati Gandharva. So like that, there has been a lot of irregularity, but yes, it is there. We need to work. That's my request. That chahe Ranavari chu, Habagar chu, chahe Kanti jai, chahe Sopor chu, Badgam chu, Kanti jai. We need to have the independent teams who could map. It's not about the individual that has a before volunteer. चलो जान अब तक बड़ा तो खुशीस का आपके का individual का बच्चे का शूर या जुट या का individual volunteer. But here the concern is that we need to map up our ancestral properties, our which is most concerned about. We need the people who have the complete and thorough knowledge on it. Thank you.
Sir, I request you to educate me on the Sheetalnath, which is a very prestigious institute.
Okay.
So as per Sheetalnath is concerned,
I would just make a last point.
No. I didn't see your language. I really didn't.
Request huge task. It involves all 10 districts of the valley. And then ultimately for government purposes, it will include Jammu 10 districts also. Jammu cannot be excluded. It will be temple and shrines board which will be constituted. Itho ashti prastav zatre member banaik so. Me chu request ki Satish Maldar ji jat par kaam karmuch variya. Sari gashte spokesperson banin ki me was phone voice of America kustain Zubair Ahmad. Interview karon about this temple encroachment. So मुझे बाया आप organization आप काम करा तो एक Satish Maldar ji का. He'll throw better light. I cannot throw light. I have also a torch. But Satish Maldar की torch में cellage जरा ताजा है, तो वो ज़्यादा light डाल सकते हैं, रोशनी बढ़िया. So let's not be all spokesperson everywhere. We get a chance with media, and we start talking here and there. तम wrong signals, बेच calculation गलत. क्या आत गई ब्रोट थी. ये ministry मजन आज 4 वरी ब्रोट वो GK Reddy was home minister. मैं वोन तमिस temple list जुत में 797 उसमें authorized list. ब्याक बरादर वो मियोन बोर्ड बोते शुस दपा 5000 मंदिर है जो 5000 तोड़े गए. दूतें बयाना 5000 मंदिर घाटी में तोड़े गए. ये मुकम 5000 मंदिर चिम तोड़े गए. मैं कोर GK Reddy कॉन्फ्रेंट गोस बादना या सुच टोपल बाट खतरनाक. ये छु जलील इनको राश गलत. अशोस वन क्या jingoism छु न कारोन. You can't reclaim heritage like that with jingoism sitting out in Delhi. You have to do it very carefully, and you have to tread the path very carefully. I am bowing down to Musliman. I am doing with tika and topi and kurta pajama. But it has to be done in a dignified manner, in a proper manner. So let Satish Maldar lead it. We'll support him everywhere, and we'll not open our mouths too much here and there to gain publicity. Just allow him, sir. That's my request. Thank you.
Perfect. Very well said. So, okay,
no,
thank you.
Sushil, I have a request. Like, the people like Ravindra Pantaji, Sapruji, they have Sanjay Sapruji, they have people have worked. I request that, that's the point, my point. Let the people from 10 districts come forward and map the properties. In a vague, give the statement, it doesn't look good, and end of the day, return to be false, and the government भी हमारी खिरखिरी उठाती है. तो मेरी एक गुजारिश है कि हमारे को आइडेंटिफाई करने पड़ेंगे 10 डिस्ट्रिक्ट से, जिनको नॉलेज हो चप्पे चप्पे की कहाँ का मंदिर है, ताकि हम उसको मैप कर पाए. चाहे वो उसकी जमीन खाई है, कोई बात नहीं, मंदिर है ना, मंदिर होना चाहिए. जैसे मैंने कहा गुरुद्वारे के सामने एक मंदिर है, उसको ढाबा बना दिया. उस मंदिर की बिल्डिंग पे किब्बा भी बना है, किब्बल भी बना है, सब कुछ बना है, मगर उसके अंदर ढाबा, मंदिर में वर्चुअली ढाबा बना हुआ. बट गवर्नमेंट के पास भी रिकॉर्ड नहीं है, किसी के पास भी रिकॉर्ड नहीं है. तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, मैं कहता हूँ किसी को इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं है. बट वी नीड टू आइडेंटिफाई द पीपल डिस्ट्रिक्ट टू डिस्ट्रिक्ट, तहसील टू तहसील. डिस्ट्रिक्ट की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ मैं, तहसील टू तहसील, ताकि हम हर चीज को मेजर करें एंड काउंटर क्लेम करें गवर्नमेंट को, भैया ये हमारी मंदिर है, ये हमारा रिलीजियस हेरिटेज है, जिसकी बात हम कर रहे हैं कि 6000 साल की हमारी हेरिटेज है, ताकि हम उनको सबमिट करें. थैंक यू.
मैं यहाँ पे कुछ ऐड करूँ, बान साहब फिर बाद में ऐड करेंगे.
हाँ जी, बोलिए पंडित साहब.
देखिए, मैं आपको बहुत अच्छी बात है, यहाँ पे 2010 में कोई बैकग्राउंड देने की जरूरत नहीं है. जिस आदमी ने इस पे काम किया उसका नाम है मिस्टर टिक्कू. ठीक है जी। परवर शहर में रहता है बेचारा, और तब जाके बाहर के जितने भी लोग थे उन्होंने उनको वायदा किया कि आप ये काम करो, हम ये करेंगे वो करेंगे, तो ट्रस्ट इश्यूज है। पहली बात तो आप ये ध्यान रखिए कि लैंड आपकी बचेगी नहीं, ये आप समझ लीजिए, बिल्कुल क्लियर समझ लीजिए। जितनी ज्यादा आप लैंड बचा पाओगे उतनी ही वो चली जाएगी। तो नो लैंड इज गोइंग टू गेट सेव्ड बाय यू पीपल, बिकॉज हमारे ये नहीं कि हमारे एसोसिएशन नहीं है, हमारे ऐसी नहीं है, हमारे यहाँ पे ट्रस्ट इश्यूज है। यहाँ पे जिसके पास जमीन आएगी वो बेचेगा, कल सतीश के पास जमीन आएगी ये बेचेगा, रविंद्र के पास जमीन आएगी ये भी बेचेगा, और अशोक बान के साथ भी अगर जमीन आएगी ये भी बेचेगा, और ये ज्यादा चीज में बेच सकता है कि ये वकील साहब है। तो मुझे नहीं लगता है कि इसमें से कुछ है, लेकिन मैं आपको ग्राउंड रियलिटी मुस्लिम्स का बता देता हूँ। ग्राउंड रियलिटी मुस्लिम्स का ये है कि वहां पे एक एंड स्ट्रक्चर उठ रहा है। जो जो पेपर सतीश के पास पहुंचे वो भी एक मुसलमान ने दिए, ठीक है जी ना। और जो पेपर प्रभु के अगेंस्ट उठे, या मैंने आज कहा कि कल वहां मस्जिद बनेगी, वो भी बन सकती है। तो या तो आपको ग्राउंड रियलिटीज पे नब्ज रखना पड़ेगा, या तो AIKS को डिप्यूट करना पड़ेगा, आदमी हायर करने पड़ेंगे आदमी, और वहां पे उनको क्लेम करना पड़ेगा। ग्राउंड में ये चल रहा है कि जिसने जमीन, वहां पे खाली कश्मीरी पंडितों की जमीन ही नहीं छीनी गई या ली गई, वहां पे गुरुद्वाराओं की, मस्जिदों की और बाकी की जमीन होगी जो राइवलरी चल रही है वहां। आज संदीप मावा साहब ने एक डिक्लेरेशन दिया, या तो फिर हम संदीप मावा को सपोर्ट करें, उनके पास जो पेपर्स थे वो किसी मिनिस्टर नहीं दिए उनको। तो मेरा कहने का मतलब ये है कि अगर AIKS takes this, Satish can head it or Mawa can head it, but responsibility should lie with AIKS. They have to move the people, they have to move the resources, and this lies with them. They have to collect the data and generate it, and for that they can create a website and everybody can upload the data. If AIKS is not able to do it, then I don't think that any party do it, because there are I know about 20-25 temples which are getting cleared today as on date, which are being proclaimed by the people who are there. So my request is that if you have to converge in one point, then you have only one association that can converge it, that is AIKS. And they have to spend money, they have to appoint people, hire people, pay salaries to them, and run those temples. They should start with Ravindra's Ditwal temple. They have to hire people and pay salaries to them. That is what the AIKS should do. Otherwise, I can tell you, ground, I have been working 30 years in Kashmir from Madras. I can tell you, not a single meter of land will be given. Okay. Not a log for the pyrie, and not a drop of water for the parched throats. You should get very clear this thing. Until if you do not claim your land, if you do not pay for that, nothing is going to come. So the owners will stay with AIKS, and you have to run it like that. No committees. They have the funds, they have to hire people, and they have to literally take that position. Through government you go, it is not going to happen. This is my last.
I think we are running short of time. We'll have to wrap up now.
Sunil ji, in lighter vein, खतरनाक पंडिता असली पंडिता काशीनाथ जी पंडिता जो दोनों टाइम साहब बोल रहे please switch over to Ashok Banji sir, we want to listen to him.
I'm doing that. Sanjay Sabru, 30 seconds jaldi se batao. You have raised your hand.
I just want to say something, 30 seconds I just want to take you. Let me tell to all the forum present here, I'm thankful to them and for their valuable time they are present here. There is already a government order, J&K High Court order, subsequent to the Supreme Court order has been issued, and one more order is coming up in this month. I am not disclosing the date. The alienation, whatever the property has been leased out, that needs to be leased out. And even though, let me also tell you, the KPs are opposing it. Their KPs are forcing that it should not happen, and it's record. I'm putting it on record. So, but there are good people who are doing it, including the Muslims, with the evidence. Past 8 years, the case has been going on. Already the orders has been passed up. It's now since the state government has not implemented the order, now it's going to be the punishment for the J&K government in this month. Why the orders has not been implemented? Why those properties, the lease agreements which has been there, why this has not been eliminated? The notice has been already issued to one of the issues. Again, I'm not going to disclose the name, even to the DC and to the respective tahsildars. Thank you very much.
Okay, Sanjay Sapru.
Anji, I want to just clarify one of the thoughts which Kuldeep Bhattaji raised. We talked about bringing an organization into all this and let that organize. So, वांगलू जी 1 मिनट आप अपना म्यूट करेंगे? आपसे शोर आ रहा है।
मेरे यहाँ कोई शोर ही
आप एक बार म्यूट कर लीजिए तो बेटर रहेगा।
ठीक है।
So what he talked about bringing an organization and that taking a lead in all this. Definitely, it is a good suggestion, I would say. But there have been so many organizations in our last 33 years who have picked up similar jobs. But the result, we know where we are today. And we are seeing it is not anything against the organization, I would say. Organizations are made up of individuals. Individuals, unfortunately or fortunately, have not been able to deliver. And same goes with the current executive of AIKS. They have been there for last 2 years. They have not even picked up one genuine demand of Kashmiri Pandit and taken it to a logical conclusion.
Right.
Having hopes on them picking up this issue and taking it to a logical conclusion, I feel it is an unrealistic expectation. You can't expect something different result from a person if they have not delivered in the past. So it is for us, do we want to set a goal which will fail next day, or we want to set something rolling which because there is no time for us to fail in this activity because already we have lost and we have to gain something. If we are in that situation,
that is why I said we need to put a structure to this. When I mentioned structure, I meant structured means not the conventional thing. We've already been doing a lot of conventional stuff. We need to now do out of the box thinking and move to a new path. So I would agree with you. Having said that, in the interest of time, I would now move over to Ashok Manji and let's have his wise thoughts about this whole discussion. Ansab, over to you.
Thank you, Sunil, and all other participants. It has been about 2 hours now. I have been listening patiently on the views expressed on a very hot topic. और बकर कशिर पश काफी कि सान्य struggle for survival and retrieval of our roots, retrieval of our cultural moorings, religious endowments and religious places was part of our struggle from day one. Or at struggle a warrior thought process gay atmas include or tamuk natij draw ke Jammu based a voluntary organization for take up ki aise karo temple and shrines bill use karo so that our religious places are saved and they are managed under a proper structure, which would be a statutory structure which will be passed by the legislature. So, time khatir tat struggle khatir gai varia effort, varia time. Or tatyai mukhalfat from various quarters or major quarter was the Dharma Trust. It has a very huge vested interest in Jammu and Kashmir to manage the affairs of religious shrines and endowment properties. Issue a feudal institution अच्छी वारिया moorings, अच्छी support, अच्छी time with government and thoda so back out. So it went into limbo. I'm patch आजकल ये एक नव exercise use genuine concern Kashmir, but she yasan yat struggles broken paknav. Ashas expectation putman 8 variant months ki sorry gach hanky dory sani khatra everything will be done for us. Tamik ti gai tasli. Or as you see discussion chalan chu as shesh divan time zugante dite almost wo punsav nafro across the globe on this subject. I am happy ke concrete suggestions I brought. Main yus bill ch temple bill tatmas yus data collate of karn such available. Such available tat sanastay nish such heko is collate kirit so heko is update kirit. This is main suggestion. Kya timan nish data collection tat data collection basis pet kartimo exercise. So as you bale prone data mother so heko is improvise kirit with the modern data. Numbers जरूरत strategically move करने strategy गई ये कि इस करवा demand सिर्फ कश्मीर बटन हंदन टेम्पलन तो properties हंस रखवाली या युहुंद protection या युहुंद management इस करवा ये पान undertake कि न इस करवा ये government request कि तो करियो सा ऐसी मदद चूंकि तो कोरोना मदद 8 million ऐसी main issue aspect of our return rehabilitation and political empowerment कम से कम यह से आग दरोहरा ऐसी 6-7 million हंस ये करता उसे protect सानी खतरी करता preserve और ये करता manage तो ता योता इस आ collective decision है को वापस गश तिल करो इसी पाने manage यम जिस issue वहाँ यम respective मंदिर कमेटी या ट्रस्ट तिम करन सहल सहल कॉपरेट सनिस कुन ते एफर्ट तिम हेकन सिर्फ एक्सी जाय कॉपरेट करित सो गो येले गवर्नमेंट अत का फैसला नी इसलिए रविंद्र पंडिता जी मैं या सही महलदार साहबन संजय सप्रुवन बाकी सारे यम तेज एक्टिविस्ट डिमांड थोमुत सरकार कि तुम करियो सा constitute a committee headed by chief secretary or whosoever, that is government's decision. A government committee high level yathmaz asa akat kashur batit karun to include use manage kar bo wano to background thoda sa ye problem us awqaf trusts te musalman awqafs pet te go hamesh की vested interest Sheikh Abdullah बनोमुत इसलिए करियो से मुफ्ती सैयदन न्यू informed decision तेम बनो वक्त बोर्ड statute आज शु वक्त बोर्ड सुई बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट ते चलावा और ताच तिमो थेमित पानी representatives और मुमकिन शु बासा by and large तिम छु manage गसा proper. In the similar circumstances we are still in mess. Ashwarya tit mandar yim astichin yasai unju vecharna mechu vecharna Srinagarish pata कि तज कचा huge property as tat mandras कचा as important such in mess such in shamble इथे कंजु नंद की शोर ऐसो सु माता माल तरफ नंद की शोर बोस्टोर गसा तज उसमें जमात इस्लामी वालों सानिस property पे स्कूल बनो and then Vora was governor the करो तमिस take up तम दो ये करतो retrieve सुच बिल्कुल या तसा at या संगमस पेट सु बड़ valuable मंदर मंद एसेटा इथे कंजु सोपोरस मज इथे कंजु अनंतनागस मज इथे कंजु वरमुलियस मज हर डिस्ट्रिक्टस मज हर तहसीलस as सतीश महलदार ओस वनान कि 17+ मंदर हसा properties ये छु वुनि deficient वुनि छु ये पूरा 17+ छु या ज्यादा थोड़ा बहुत मेन छु पॉइंट ये कि अशु डिसाइड करुन पान वुनि बिहित कि अख रेस्पॉन्सिबल कमेटी जस अस बनाओ सेंट्रल लेवलस पे यथ मज महलदार साहब हेके आशित, यथ मज रविंदर पंडिता हेके आशित, यथ मज संजय सप्रू हेके आशित, यथ मज बेय ते तिम इन्वॉल्व करन सारने लूकन यमन अथ सत रुचि आश, अथ गस गोड पैशन आसन यह सेव करन कि ना। इथे कन खोसा साहब जेमिस मज यह कश्मीर सबक हेड यह हेके अथ सत एसोसिएट कर। इथे कन करो जगती मज करोन का आइडेंटिफाई अथ सत एसोसिएट आश यमिस सारे रूरल एरियाजन हज पता आश। अत आर के भट तम कम कर्म वेरी नाग साइड तिमन मंदरन वंदरन मज। इथे कन अनंत नागस मज मेन ट्रस्ट अनंत नाग डिस्ट्रिक्ट तक गोजा साहब अख वकील जमी करान वकालत तम तथ सत इन्वॉल्व वारिया। सारी पन्ने पन्ने जाए थोड़ा बहुत कंट्रीब्यूशन करान। इत कन रहना वारी वाले बनो रहना वारी एक्शन कमेटी। यह मानी हिसाब यीत चंक तूत गाश अस पज नैरो थवन अत विजन यूता ति लाइट गश कुन जाय ति इमर्ज सो लाइट हमेशा पत अशी रिफ्लेक्ट गसान सह कर अशी मदद। मगर अगर न अत सेंट्रल फोकस्ड कमेटी बन यस यह डे टू डे लेवलस पे अत मॉनिटर आश करान और यस यह डाटा सोरे कोलेट कर। आजकल डिजिटल जमान सतीश महलदार ते डिजिटल मैन, संजय सप्रू ते डिजिटल मैन, and I am told that Ravinder Pandita यमो सारवी खोत बोड डिजिटल मैन क्याज यह पान इंजीनियर टूप लागन टुक करने सत गो न यह ट्रेडिशनल सो बट योत यह मॉडर्न बट ते अमिस एनलाइटनमेंट अमिस एक्सपर्टाइज ऑन डिजिटल अम बनो आउट ऑफ नथिंग बनो मूवमेंट इंडिविजुअल लेवल पे अस कोर कल में थोड़ा सा सपोर्ट कोर थोड़ा सा यह बने बड़ मूवमेंट यह गो इंस्टीट्यूशन खड़ा। इथे कन अगर सारी इंडिविजुअल पन एफर्ट करो थोड़ा सा टाइम दिमो इत आज दुत मे बासान यह फर्स्ट टाइम आज यीज बड़ एक्सरसाइज गई यथ मज जिठो यंगस्टरों सारे कंट्रीब्यूट कोर कि बनाओ कह नत कह मसवद बनाओ डाटा बनाओ युस डाटा आइंद जनरेशन ते मदद कर रोजो ना यह मेंटल ब्रो कुन पकनाओ। मगर मे वोन तुह कि यह शुरुआत पे साइमल्टेनियस स्ट्रगल चलान यह रिट्रीव करनस यह वाक़ा कि कंसी कह कोर्मुत हर कंस पन्ने पन्ने जाए अत कंट्रीब्यूशन कोर्मुत यह पेसिमिज्म थवन कि अस बन कहीं अगर तथ पे रोजो तेल कर जिंदगी डायनमिक तेल पक डायनमिक्स ऑफ लाइफ पक सिनिसिज्म कहीं गुंजाइश कंस अगर लीज कोर सब लीज कोर तथ क्या लीगल पोजिशन सह अस नश सोरे डाटा वात सतीश महलदार वन अत हसा जजमेंट अत गवर्नमेंट ऑर्डर अत सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑर्डर विजवे दुर्गा नाग अगर सह अप्लाई गि और मे बासान सह गो सक्सीड वुनिस तान। सतीश महलदारन कर मुहिम शुरू कि गवर्नरस पे पन पान विड्रॉ कर फ्रॉम द इनॉग्रेशन ऑफ एन इलीगल स्ट्रक्चर युस इलीगल लैंडस पे चोर कनाल दपान तथ नजूल लैंड ते सत इसलिए हेके ना LG वनकस अत इनॉग्रेट कर अत फॉर्मल शेप दित। मगर अ चीज वन बहुत सुप्रीम कोर्टस मज वकालत करान मे थोड़ा सा एक्सपीरियंस इन मामलन मज ये पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट तथ पेवान थोड़ा सा सोशल एंड कम्युनिटी इंटरेस्टस थोड़ा चफ हेन यह जूरिस्प्रूडेंस। मगर सो चफ क्या हमो क्या गो तथ लायक क्या यह ग्रैब कर्म यह लेजिटिमेटली नीम अस नश त्रम्बो यह लेजिटिमेटली नीम अस नश गवर्नमेंटन फॉर ए पब्लिक पर्पज कि करो सरेंडर फॉर पब्लिक पर्पज over some little bit of compensation here and there. No, it is an illegality. It's an illegal construction which has come up. And illegality means demolition ultimately, agar wucho law. Illegality cannot be compromised by any compensation. चाहे सो Paras hospital offer di ki sarni button kar bo mufut ilaj tat kaja bat biche ये हेक तिथ कन काउंटेनेंस ना हेके पारस कॉर्पोरेट हाउस पोस खरीदित कंस बटस तीज अवकात छन पारसस यह मोन कन्विक्शन खरीद गसन लोग मगर मजमूई तौर कलेक्टिवली तौर हेक सान कॉन्शियंस का या सा ये मल हेत यह पॉसिबल अस अको चीज मैक्रो लेवलस पे लैक करान कि अस सरकारु हार्ड पावर सपोर्ट कर अस नश सॉफ्ट पावर वारिया अस कर 2 घंटे वनस तान यथ पे सरफ valuable suggestions आई from about more than a dozen citizens, informed citizens, or most valuable suggestions आई और यम येली collate गसन they will form a document into itself मगर which document should lack करा सिर्फ डाटा यम विज हको कह दरवाज खटखट बहुत सतीजियस दाद दिवान अमिस वो मे करो हको PIL मगर सह ग डाटा बेस PIL अगर हाफ हार्टेड PIL करो सुप्रीम कोर्टस या हाई कोर्टस मन कि तुम दिव सा अम्ब्रेला प्रोटेक्शन फॉर ऑल द श्राइन्स अगर न गवर्नमेंट कर फर्स्ट एफर्ट सान कि करो गवर्नमेंटस अप्रोच करो गवर्नमेंटस रिक्वेस्ट कि बाबा सान धरोहर बचाव खतर करो सा तुम मदद मे बासान यह तिहद खतर यह बोड़ बार इशू अगर होम मिनिस्टरन कमिट कोर रविंदर पंडिता जी एफर्टस और पत कोर सह एकदम लबैक कोर बे दिसन एश्योरेंस पब्लिकली कि बह कर टेक अप ये पाकिस्तान गवर्नमेंटस सह कॉरिडोर खोलनस यह बड़ कत यह लकट कत सान कि मंदिर 1000 या 2000 मंदिर डिलैपिडेटेड कंडीशनस मज या यम एनक्रोच्ड या लैंड ग्रैब तक चलान इथे कन हरी अत रेजिडेंसी रोडस पे मंदिर सह अथी सह रोजान सह MLA बे श्रीकांत कोल सीड फार्म वोल तिमन बोड़ मकान तथ लर मंदिर तथ खेव सह इमीडिएटली नमतस मज लुको तक क्या मे दफ्तर तिहंदिस NXE मज एज ए लॉयर आई हैड मे तमें सह मंदिर सह पंजाबियन हूं सह खेव तथ अंदि पक मुसलमानों सारे तथ बन दुकान तथ बन कमर्शियल कॉम्प्लेक्स इथे कन ब्या वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट मज गो यह लाला तीरथ राम आमला तम इन अंध हेथी कन तम कोर फ्रॉड तथ प्रोविजन कंपनी लॉस मज तम कोर तम गई तथ मज इंडक्ट एज पार्टनर्स कोर तमो मगर रजिस्ट्रार ऑफ कंपनीजन मज डॉक्यूमेंट डाटा मिलान कि तम लेजिटिमेट पार्टनर तम हेकना यह लीज प्रॉपर्टी क्रिएट कर विद अदर पार्टनर्स यह वन थोड़ा एम्बिग्यूटी दोयम एम्बिग्यूटी मे राय ये मुरार जी हेक वनित अत मुतलक कि यह एम्बिग्यूटी जेन्युइन कि यह तमो सब लीज तमो वोन कि 2007 पे कोर यमो यह ट्रस्ट नो रजिस्टर पत कोरुक ट्रस्ट 2012 मज दिख प्रॉपर्टी तमो कर लीज तथ मज कोरुक सब लीज इंक्लूड सब लीज तो कंपनी इंडक्शनस मज पार्टनर करुन इट्स ए डिफरेंट मीनिंग एंड डिफरेंट कोनोटेशन मन पॉइंट यह कि गो न टेक्निकलिटीज गो मेन मुदहस पे मेन मुदा यह कि let this webinar conclude with a formation of a committee. Buchus karan 4 nav suggest yeti. Tim gay Satish Mahaldar, Ravinder Pandita, Sanjay Sapru, and Jammu from Jammu Kashmiri Sabah President Khosa sir. Yim Chor Atma it can include more people from Jagti, from Anantnag, from different Sukaropat decide. Magar let us create a nucleus here right now of 4 or 5 people. This is one. Atmaz Hakun is Yasai Wangnu Sab associate Kirit Kaji, he is knowledgeable and Kam Kurmus Atman. Halanki Wanchu, he is not so active, but we can get his guidance also on this issue. If I can just see Guru Sab and Mandran Patwaria Kam Kurmus. Them to collate Kurmatwaria data, them to Kitab the Kurmus. Them is the Karawa approach. Ye Karawa sincere effort. Ye effort is one replacement of an effort which was done earlier by our stalwarts for getting a legislation for the protection of temples. Kaz Ishaq no muhim ashuru kar. No muhim ashi digitally based, no muhim ashi data based, no muhim ashi slightly improvised format. Chahe ashi legal recourse pe kar. First priority kar advice as a lawyer that we must emphatically approach government. Agar Ravinder Pandita government या Satish Mahaldar government approach, Atman's Home Ministry can play a good role. Yes, LG office can play a good role. Before election commence in Jammu and Kashmir, this committee must get formed. Signal or used to vested interest Mandar committee, trust committee. Timan mail talk, Timan mail state message. Kaz Timan pe sorry record submit karun to the government committee. Issue my यह है कि अथक यस तुम वनान स्ट्रक्चर्ड तरीकस मज यून कर यह बात बाकी गो वक्तन फवक्तन सोशल मीडिया पे क्रख लागन यह यह तमी क्रकि सती गो वनस तान कि गवर्नरन कोर नी तम वापस तम कोर न फॉर्मली इनॉग्रेट तक गो कामयाबी गई तमुक शहर दीव तुम सारे collectively courage. Magar individual pahal kar Satish Maldaran. There is no doubt about it. Them cursory effort. Or suchu varya genuine effort kara. Let us respect that effort and let us give him at least a mandate of us who have assembled here and who appreciate his work. If I can agar ye committee bani, it would be a mandated committee. But use to incorporate as Karun gradually with our own consultation. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Ban sir. Satish ji, you have raised your hand.
Sir, Bansab has spoken of the golden words, and I appreciate that the wisdom, the literate, learned counsel has spoken of the mind, what it should be and how it should be. And of course, the people like Bansab should be in the forefront, in the helm of the affairs to address this critical issue, the religious genocide and the cultural genocide. And the way Bansab has expressed, I salute him by all means. So to all other people, I really appreciate the Bansab has recommended in the name of Sanjay Sapru Saab, Ravindra Panditaji, and other people, members.
Jammu se bhi.
Of course, from Jammu also, from Kosa Saab. He's a respectable, beloved, he's a family member. Yes. With love to him, no words, I have no words to express for Kosa Saab.
That Karawa is Goja service request because he's a lawman also there. We can request him out.
So here it is, Sunilji, what is the time to require to that we need to identify the teams from Tehsil to Tehsil, district to district, and move forward.
That's a follow-up.
Yes, that's we need to move forward and take the things forward under the leadership of the Sanjay Saproji, under Ravindra Panditaji, Mansa, Kosa Saab, and I'm really thankful to Mansa what he advised.
I missed out of one point. That is we can take in the advisory capacity, we can take Dr. Vijay Sazaval because he has been consistent on it from day one of our migration. So we need somebody from abroad, also from diaspora, to be on this panel in the advisory capacity, if not in the active capacity, but he has to be in the advisory capacity. That's my request.
I endorse you. I endorse you,
Should I
sir.
add a point? Should
So
I add a point?
all good learned people who are here just to not for sloganing, who are here to reclaim the properties of the Kashmir Pandits and the endowments, religious endowments of the Kashmir Pandits. Of course, I really salute you, Bansa, for that, and I wish.
Satyaji, one more last point which I forgot. You know, freedom of religious or belief, including the ability to worship in peace and security at your own religious places, is a universal human right of a human being. Please appreciate that. And I think Dr. Sazaval also endorsed that it's a universal human right for a human being, right of faith, right to profess, right to worship, to his own place of culture, to his own place of worship, is a human right. We can take it to the heights, but provided we do the basic work and basic data collection. In today's age of information, we need real data, and we need really to digitalize all that and spread it world over, if not in the country, because this country also will help us. As Ravinder Pandita got help from all the quarters, I am expecting for this, for preservation of our heritage, for managing the religious endowments and religious temples in Kashmir, whatever the skeleton population we have there, I think country will always endorse our point of view and they will help us.
Bansab, I just
Should I,
sorry,
should
I'm
I
short
add a
of
point?
words.
Should I add a
I
point?
just,
Dr. Sir, then you will add after me. Sorry, I will take admin. See, I will tell you the ground realities so that you can have a grip of the situation. We have this Panchayati Raj system in place. Now we had made this committee. We can make the panchayat head as the de facto honorary.
पंडिता साहब
Honorary.
पंडिता साहब ये एक्सरसाइज मारा वो तशे 2-3 वरी करान कम्युनिटी बनाया we did the meetings, we collect the data, we did everything mara in past 32 years. Everyone was doing the exercise mara. But the main issue is this time अगर दुर्गाना के ऊपर हम किसी कंक्लूजन पे पहुंचे हैं, let us start with from दुर्गाना. मारा इम
Durganag is going to be decimated, na?
मिलियन बने वैसे वारिया डाटा रविंद्र प्रकाश
Durganag
तो इस टाइम हम किसी कंक्लूजन पे पहुंचे हैं. So
Paras,
let
this is
us
going to
start,
get.
let us concentrate this time on Durganag only.
Yeah,
Not for
that
this
Paras,
data
that is going
collection,
to be
committee
demolished.
collection.
That will be demolished, na? It has to be demolished.
Can I, Sunilji, let me add, Ashokji, let me add that I think we should have Sanjay Raina, Sanjay Teku also as a member, because Sanjay and I have worked, we worked together
he should be
in
there. Sanjay Teku
2010.
should be
We
there.
collected the data in 2010 when very few people knew about what was going on. So I propose that Sanjay Teku ji.
I endorse that.
Yeah, Vijay ji, I am sorry, मारा मैं आपकी बात को काट रहा हूँ. जितने भी इस टाइम आप लोगों ने सजेशन की 3, 4, 5, 6 लोग बना दो. That's good. We all will follow them. मगर जो आप इसको बढ़ा रहे हो ना, we should see the background of the peoples also. The people who are staying in Kashmir, what they did. There are so many stories and there are so many episodes. Mara, I'm sorry for my words. I'm very straightforward. Mara, I'm a talkative. इसलिए मैं कहता हूं कि हमें वहां कुछ लोगों को तो एंडोर्स करना पड़ेगा, उनको साथ में लाना होगा. But कुछ लोगों के ऊपर तो अभी भी उंगलियां उठ रही है विजय जी. आई एम रियली वेरी सॉरी
Ravi ji, you have a good point, but I will tell you, the moment this report, this committee will come out, unglias will start all over again on all of these people. I mean, that is the nature of our community.
There
So
are
what is
some
wrong
facts.
in putting thugs? What is wrong? What is wrong in
नहीं
putting the
एक
thugs?
सेकंड पंडित साहब, एक सेकंड. अगर हम किसी के ऊपर उंगली उठाते हैं तो उसके पीछे कुछ रीजन है. नॉर्मली हम ऐसे किसी के ऊपर उंगली नहीं उठाते सर.
I think
What's the larger goal,
okay.
Baba?
Ravi
I
ji, let us try
I
to
have not
conclude
completed
now.
my. Sunil ji, ask point. See, I must be the only person who has spoken to all the panchayat heads. I have spoken to 2 lakh Kashmiri youth for 30 years. I can tell you the pulse of the game. If we need land, the land will come from the village head. We have got tremendous support from village people. We have got tremendous support from locals, provided somebody goes and knocks and talks to them. This is one thing I can tell you. So if you make one, you have to see the larger goal. This petty goal, somebody taken money, somebody taken land, somebody thugs. If you do not have this thuggery, no, things are not, you can have all thugs together. But some sane person who has, I was there in Tiku's home when I saw those lists. The betrayal to that man has happened that day. But I don't know, things will come. But unless you have the local support, unless you have the local post person down there, the tahsildar down there, and the local politics which has been played in the village and around, you cannot secure the land. I am telling you this. So you need to have.
I think we are going into the operational mode.
No, not operational. I am suggesting you. The constitution itself, the man should become the member, honorary member, and then you start communicating with him. Don't communicate with anybody else. You can have a look.
So right now, I think we have overshot time also.
Yeah, that is what.
I would we would want to conclude now. हमारा लज पहुंचते इस बाहर यार.
सुनील जी, मिनट सिर्फ मैं बीच में बोलता नहीं हूँ, बट मैं यही कहता हूँ पिछले 32 साल से हमने बहुत इमीडिएटली हमने दुर्गानाथ पे कंसंट्रेट करना चाहिए, सो दैट वी कैन डू समथिंग, वी कैन अचीव समथिंग आवरसेल्व्स.
Durganath can become a test case for us.
I have seen the people for last 32 years. They are dependent upon what government will do for us. अगर हमने ये जो रविंद्र पंता ने जब बोला कि जो धर्मार्थ को उस टाइम 21 करोड़ रुपया वापस करना पड़ा जो उन्होंने लैंड भेजी थी, उसमें राइटली सेड उसमें वो जोलॉजी की लैंड भी थी. बट द थिंग इज वो जब हमने प्रैक्टिस किया, जब हमने खुद किया, तभी तो वो मजबूर हो गए करने पे. जब हम खुद नहीं, वी आर डिपेंडेंट अपॉन गवर्नमेंट. गवर्नमेंट क्या करेगी हमारे लिए जब हम तक खुद अपने बलबूते पे खड़े नहीं होंगे.
Yeah, put your foot down. All land. किसी ने भी जिंदगी में अगर किसी ने जमीन ली है ना, वो जबर करके ली है जनाब. Get your land back. And I can tell you, the moment you put your foot down, they will bow. Stronger people have. Put your foot down. I'm telling you, and you will get it.
Murga. Anyway, Sushil, Ravi Rigu has said the wonderful words. कि जो हम सारे rest of the GP panelists थे, they have said, expressed about it, that हमको सब करना पड़ेगा. And Ravi has expressed once again about it, that हमको करना पड़ेगा, and the people are ready to go about it. But end of the day, we need to.
So I think
work.
the major takeaway from.
Please conclude.
The major takeaway today is that we need to constitute a committee. There have been names which have been proposed. We may, Pansa may look at refining some of the names, may look at adding some more, and but I think we will then leave it to that committee to consolidate a list. But on the other hand, I would also agree with Ravi ji that Durganath can become a sort of a pilot for us. It can become a prototype for us as a pilot case. There may be a necessity. Maybe we can think about doing a separate discussion exclusively on Durganath sometime next week or so. With those words, unless anybody else wants to add something, should we close the call?
Yeah, you can close the call. People in Kashmir told me that Satish has put his hand in Gunsan in this Yatmas. So this is the feedback that I received yesterday. So they are seeing it Trambus from two different things. One is from Kashmiri Pandit land, and also from the land that they have acquired, the Muslim land. So this is not a small issue. We can build it up. We can blast it out. This is a very important issue. I'm telling. Thank you.
Fine.
मेरा जो सुनील जी थोड़ा सा आखिरी रिक्वेस्ट दहन सेकंडन सिर्फ I have highest regard for Ban Saab, everyone here, even including Ravi Ribuji who was talking here, because he knows how we managed with Al Bhairav and how we snatched it back. I should appreciate his efforts that time in 2012. मे सिर्फ पर्सनली ये वनुन कि बुछुस यथ वरियस वारिया आवर इन द सेंस कि मे मरा गछुन इस पे मे वोन बद पे तो हुशरिश थोमुत गुलाम अहमद तो बे अब्दुल अजीज इथे पे मे टीटवाल मरा बनो रहेंद्र पंडित केयर टेकर आई विल टेक केयर ऑफ द टेंपल सर एंड आई विल हैव टू मेक सम मूवमेंट्स देयर तो इस साल मैं डेफिनेटली आई विल बी हेल्पिंग सतीश जी always there, but committee may actively participate karna as suggested, that would not be possible for me this year particularly. So next year, yes, I am there after winter. I am always with you. So Satish ji ko jo bhi sahayata isme chahiye, and I will continue to fight for this one कि एक shrine board, temple and shrine board बने 3-4 member का headed by LG. I think that exercise should also continue simultaneously. It should have Kashmiri Pandits. It should not be like that government officials ही हैं. फिर तो हमारी सुनवाई नहीं होगी.
That is beyond our purview. पर जो हमारे purview में अभी है, सोचो ये कि we form a committee with Satish Mahaldar ji, yourself, Khosa Saab, Sanjay Sapru, and Sadawul Saab. So I think this is the key takeaway for this, that we form this committee and
yes.
नहीं मेरी एक सुनील मेरी एक रिक्वेस्ट है कि हमको एक लेडी को भी हमारी प्रथा रही है शक्ति के बगैर काम नहीं होता ये शिविज्म है अमरनाथ स्वामी की बात
मात्र शक्ति
एब्सोल्युटली सो हमारे को एक हमारी माँ बहन हमारे को हमको वी नीड टू नॉमिनेट वन वुमन वन डॉटर also.
Satish ji, let us conclude with this as the core committee with the liberty you guys will expand it later on.
I will suggest Monica Coily. Monica Coily टिटूगंजू की जो वाइफ है मोनिका कोहली जो पन्नू कश्मीर से है मुझे उसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है बट शी इज really a wonderful daughter, a sister. We should include her.
Satish, I think it is best that this committee decide who the next
decides who they want to induct. Do that later on.
There may be multiple choices. And
part of this call, Murarji, before I close the call, Murarji, unmute karo.
Yes, Sunil ji, I have one more request. Sunil ji,
हाँ जी बोलो.
इसको कंटिन्यू कर देना है इस Zoom मीटिंग को next week also. Please do it.
रवि जी आप अपना वीडियो क्यों नहीं दिखा रहे हो सर? आप रवि जी वीडियो भी दिखाइए, दर्शन भी करें.
भाई सर, this is weekend sir, weekend.
क्या नगे
वीकेंड क्या का रवि जी वीकेंड है सार नहीं वो थोड़ी सी वीक
मंचना दक्षिण को
तमोक चवा मगर
पंता साहब मारा आप चीज मैच या वीडियो खराब इसलिए मैं तुम्हारा के पंता साहब तची बासान ये क्या चेत बनान ये बनान टेंपल एंड शेन ब्रेड तम खतर कूता कूर पत क्या गोता मैं छुन बासान सच पॉसिबल वन के वनान ये सु बन क्या चेत वनान ना ये गुरुद्वारा प्रबंधक कमेटी हिंद पड़ बन सु बनावा गवर्नमेंट को सु बनावा वो सु बनावा we have to pursue that. Shikram wasal sorry kari government kya kare?
No, sorry karna. Sorry karna.
Government
with
kari
that,
khali
with
Ravi
that,
ji
thank
Ravi ji government kari chon video on. So chukun pani video on karan chon video kari government on.
So we Murarji unmute करियो तो ऐसे बोलना चाहते हैं.
Mara, you have not been able to listen to me. Whenever you start dialogue for Durgana Trust, I would request you to include Veer Saraf's name in that.
Okay,
Mr.
I think we gave it a miss. Veer Sarafji was there in the call today. He is still there.
Yes, I would like to talk. I would like to request him also to speak something.
Please, sir, Veer Sarafji, please come.
Veer Sarafji.
नमस्कार मोरा, नमस्कार शहर नहीं मोरा, नमस्कार हमारा क्या बस बहुत बहुत बातें हो गई सर, जो कुछ एक्शन होनी चाहिए कुछ. ये बान साहब ने तो बहुत ही बढ़िया तरीके से इसको सम अप कर दिया और सारी बातें हैं अपनी जगह पर. और दुर्गानाग एक पायलट केस बन सकता है. प्लीज कंसंट्रेट ऑन दैट. माय सबमिशन वुड बी दैट. बाकी जो सतीश जी के साथ वॉलंटियर्स की बात कर रहे हैं, वॉलंटियर कोई करे ना करे, आई थिंक वी विल हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई द पीपल एंड अप्रोच देम, because some people may not volunteer on their own. It's more karo next time the karo after. So nice of you. With the warrior late. The Ravindra Pandita ji ne बहुत बढ़िया बातें की. बहुत I endorse them totally. I endorse every single word what Ban Sahab has been saying or what Sajaul Sahab has also said. यहाँ तक कि जो ये कुलदीप जी बात कर रहे थे कि ऑन द ग्राउंड कश्मीर के साथ रहे, मैं भी खुद भी ऑन द ग्राउंड ही हूँ, कश्मीर में ही हूँ, पिछले 10-12 साल से हूँ, बहुत डीपली कनेक्टेड हूँ. तो बहुत सही. अनलेस यू हैव द लोकल पीपल इन कॉन्फिडेंस, मे बी इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल टू मूव टू डू एनीथिंग देयर. लेकिन हम उनकी कॉन्शियंस को भी अप्रोच कर सकते हैं. वो भी अच्छे लोग हैं, उनमें भी सोच समझ रखने वाले लोग हैं. मेजोरिटी उन्हीं की है. ऐसे ही आचेर माचेर कम आसान ज्यादा कशरी बड़े समझदार लोग से दे विल अंडरस्टैंड इट ऑल. हमें अप्रोच करने की जरूरत है सर. थैंक यू.
We have this Talib Kashmiri. We have this Talib Kashmiri. He is giving every day about this Kashmiri Pandits. उनका बहुत काम है. So people should engage with him. The people, they have, see, Muslims have worked more towards in identifying, in narrating the Hindu yar work by Pandit land and Pandit temple. So we have this Talib Kashmiri. So you can.
बहुत सारे लोग हैं, बहुत सारे
So
लोग
finally,
हैं.
thank
We
you.
should
I would want
interact
to
with them.
thank
We should interact with them. But I think that is going into the details of the
So
meeting.
we conclude with this core committee of these 5 people. With that,
Right.
and they can then nominate and further expand it themselves. And as Ravi Digu said, we should continue doing this webinar next week also, which we will do. And
Right.
I think we're quite late now.
Right.
Thank you. Thanks once again. I would really thank you. Appreciate Satish Maldarji for his humongous efforts and Bansab for his kind guidance. So thank you
Right.
once again. With that, we end today's meeting. Right. Thank you.
Namaskar Mara sahib.
Namaskar.
Sunil, I just want to suggest one here thing. I thank to every activist silently the way they are doing for the work, including Dr. Vijay Sazawal Saab, Ravi Guji, Veer Saraf ji, and Khosa Saab, in fact, to Murarji ji, and other people who are silently doing the work. And really, trust me, we should really appreciate the people across that despite they are not getting any support from the community, they are paying from their own pockets and they're putting the effort that somehow we could reclaim our the culture heritage. Really, we appreciate. I'm once again thankful to, especially to Sazawal Saab. He has taken up a special time and he's listening to us and sharing his views. Really thankful to you.
Right. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely.
With that, we close. Thank you.
God
Thanks, everyone.
bless you. Namaskar.
Namaskar.